see if the missus is that. Lainey, if there's any chance for Stefan Everts gin, that'd be mint. Thank you. Right, people, I can see some of you all coming in now, so that's cool. Evening. Right, let's get it going then. So, Lee Ashby here. Motocross and Speedway Memories. I'll just get into my thank yous, and then I'll bring on my special guest for this evening. Thanks for coming in. I can see you all coming in. That's Ross Bennett, is it? How's it going, buddy? Just got to register your namelet so I can see who it is. Hook me up. Right then, let's just get the thank yous out of the way quickly. Big thanks for the support to Simon Pardo of Wight Eagle Finance. They give quality financial advice for pensions, mortgages, investments and protection. Check out the website at www.whiteeaglefinance.co.uk. And if you quote me, that you can get some advice. So maybe we could all do some of that, eh? Big thanks to the legend Stefan Everts with his S72 gin and vodka brand. Check out his amazing products out at www.s72gin.com. Hopefully I'll get some in a minute. Big thanks to Leo and of Owen Developments. They specialise in supplying turbochargers to a global customer base covering motorsport, performance, aftermarket and OME sectors. Check them out on the shop side at www.owenturbos.com and also www.owendevelopments.co.uk. And also thanks to AMA legend Mr. Jeff Stanton. Check out his new adventures at www.jeffstantonadventures.com. Right then, people, I can see you all coming in. Evening all. Dave Wright, how's it going? Jackie Priest, Ian Slater. You said at 7 o'clock start, it's 7 past. Piss off, Baz. Not you, mate. Budge, evening, how's it going? Oi, oi, legend. Hey, mate. Right then, people. Let's get my little introduction video. This is one of my first ones. I've got a little cheeky app online. So let's test it out. My guest will be the first go. So here we go then. Here we go. Beautiful. Here he is, the legend, Mr. Chris Holder.
Don't know about legend, but I'll take it.
Come on, mate. I'm giving you that.
Cheers, man. Thanks for having us on here, man. I've obviously seen a bunch of you who you've had on here in the past, and yeah, some big hitters up there. So yeah, privileged to be on here, and yes, have a good one.
Thank you very much, mate. Absolute. The honour and privilege is all mine to get you on here. Watched all your career to date, so really appreciate your time, buddy.
No problem, man. No worries.
Right, there's loads of people coming in already, nearly 100 online already. Here we go. So let's get a question going then. How did you actually get into the Speedway then, Chris? How old were you? How young were you? And what was your first bike? Was it a Speedway or motocross? Or?
Well, man, I've got an older brother, Jimbo James, who's
I
think he's about just over a year and 4 months older than me. And the old man, or Santa Claus, sorry, not my dad. Santa Claus sprang us a Pee Wee 50 back in 1990. I was 3 years old. So and we just got the one and we shared it, and that's how we started, like obviously riding motorbikes and stuff. And motorbikes on my dad's side of the family is like massive, not just like in racing. They've done a lot of racing too, but just in general, they're all bike people. So yeah, through me old man and his side of the family. Cheers, mate.
Cheers to you, Mr. Holder, with the old cheeky chin there. This has just slipped it through the door. Loving it.
I got the zero Coke, calorie.
Sorry.
My old man's side of the family were big into bikes, and they're quite a big family on his side. And then, yeah, my mum's side, not a thing to do with bikes whatsoever. So it was a funny combination. But yeah, literally just with the Pee Wee 50. And then as for Speedway, my old man had a crack at Speedway, but he didn't start doing Speedway till he was about 28, I believe it was. And by then he had me and my older brother gym. So he wasn't looking to progress to UK or go global, worldwide, or whatever you want to call it. And he was really good friends with Boise, Pooley, like all them boys, and stuff like that. But they raced a lot of short circuit, like the dirt track racing. That's quite, I won't say it's not big in Australia, but that's like our most popular sort of form of dirt track racing, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Not as so much as Speedway. I think Speedway is a little bit of a smaller sort of deal than, a lot of guys start with the dirt, like obviously motocross, but dirt track, like Jack Miller's, Stoner, all them boys, Brock Parks, like a bunch of guys that start off doing dirt track, and then they get to that age where you're 14, 15 and you decide, like, I'm going down the road racing avenue or I'm doing Speedway. It's like, if you got good sponsors, you'll go road racing, or a lot of money, you'll go down that route. And if you're just like the normal Aussie battler, you'll do Speedway because it was a cheaper option, you know what I mean? So literally just by that way, man. And I think we're probably about 8 or 9 years old when we kicked off, like doing junior Speedway.
Yeah.
And that was with Herney, like Phil Hearn and his boys, Jay and Lee. Like we were riding with them guys. Like they didn't live far from us. And then we did it for a few years, and then it got to a point where, when obviously you turn 15, 16, you turn senior, and in our state, New South Wales, like Doyley, a couple other boys that you wouldn't have known of, they never made a sort of career out of it, but they all turned senior at the same time. So when they turned senior, like our whole Speedway group just broke in half, or like less than half. So there wasn't that many guys racing junior Speedway around. So like we do the dirt track meetings, and at lunchtime they'd do Speedway at lunch. So when everyone's having lunch from riding their 60s, 80s, 125s, about 5 guys would be out in the middle doing junior Speedway, doing like a little about 5 or 6 heats. And like Mick Poole was running that with my old man and a couple other guys. And we literally we started with the Speedway, then stopped, and then they were needed numbers. So literally before a New South Wales, like a state title, they said, "Oh, does Chris want to do it? Because we've got a bike here and stuff." And of course I was like, "Yeah, I'll race it. It's really good. I like Speedway." And we just wasn't that much going on. And then literally we did that meeting, and then my older brother Jim qualified for the Aussie title, and we went to Adelaide and watched. And like Adelaide's about 15-hour drive from where we're from. It's like a whole different world. We've turned up and watched their junior Speedway. They've got a purpose-built track with a fence, lights, bloody all the bells and whistles, and we've turned up like, holy crap, this is junior Speedway. Like, this is how serious it is. And then literally after that weekend, we bought a bike again and started again. And that's pretty much, that's history. From there, that's where it all kicked off again. So it's wild, man.
When did you think to yourself then that I could make a career of this, and you wanted to go to, obviously, to the UK Pro and all that? What was that? When did that happen for you?
Well, like I said before, like my old man and Boise are really close pals, like good mates from the dirt track days. And obviously before Boise went to England and made a name for himself and all the rest of it, that sort of bunch of crew, like my dad and a bunch of others as well, we're all like obviously in the same sort of boat. So we didn't really know much about it. Obviously no internet and no nothing. We'd only see Boise every summertime when he'd turn up and give us like race bibs from Pool Pirates, and we had no idea what it really was, apart from he goes and races his bike, and still didn't really have a ambition. That's what I want to do, I wasn't like 10 years old going, I want to go to England, I want to do this. And then probably when I was a bit older, maybe 12, 13, 14, sort of started to understand it a bit, and we were getting Grand Prix on our TV. Like we'd go down to Rodney Calhoun's house and watch the Speedway Grand Prix at 3 in the morning and all this kind of stuff. Like obviously my dad was pretty wanted to watch it and all that, and we were stoked, so we'd go check it out. And didn't really understand how it worked with the league race. And we knew Grand Prix and World Championships, but we didn't know like you don't have to be the best guy. If you're a decent rider, you could earn a living. Instead of a 9 to 5, you could go and ride in the Premier League, and you're not going to make tons of money, but you're going to ride your bike, a couple of times a week and get a job in the winter for you guys, but like summer for us. Which a bunch of guys have done that, that's nothing wrong with that. Like, if I didn't make it to where I got to, I would have done that, no problem. Never really had a plan. This is what we're going to do. Like my old man never said, "Yeah, we're going here, we're doing this." I won the under-21 Australian Championship in 05, I think it was.
Yep.
And I've never been to England, none of that stuff. And, you know, we had probably about 3 or 4 guys like Schliney, Woody, Batch, Doyley. I think they all just done their first year over there. And we had the Aussie under-21 championship, and I went out and I did a 15-point maximum and just had it like never rode so good in my life. Just made every start and just flogged them all. And when you'd back then, when you'd win, they'd give you, when you get your trophy and whatnot, they'd give you this little bit of paper from like Motorcycling Australia saying you've qualified for the World Championships, like the rounds, you know, the under-21.
Oh, yeah, qualifying, yeah.
You got that, I'd get this bit of paper like frothing going, oh my God. And my old man's like, nah, don't worry about that. You got work tomorrow. You got work on Monday. Because I was a motorbike mechanic, which he was hell-bent on. You get a trade before you think about anything, which I resented that fact of, I don't want to trade. Like, what do I need to trade for all this shit? But I understand 100% what he meant at the time. But so in 05, I really wanted to go because that's when Troy and Doyley were gone. And obviously there was a little bit of internet and I'd see bits and pieces thinking, you know, like they're out there doing what they want to, like I'm stuck here on a train going 2 hours into Sydney to do this bike mechanic job. I leave in the dark, I get home in the dark. Like, this is bullshit. Like, I can beat these two. This is what I want to do. And he fair play to me, old man. He was like, nah, not doing it. And then I won it again the following year. And the following year obviously wasn't as straightforward. It was a bit of, I don't know if there was controversy that year between me and Batch or whatever, but not saying it was ever easy, but it was like I still managed to win, even though I'd probably done about 6 meetings that year, while they'd probably done about 40, 50 matches or whatever they do in the Premier League back then. And I think I qualified obviously again, and then Pooley was injured at the time. And obviously had good connections with Crumpy, and Crumpy rang me, old man, when my dad was at work, and he was like, holy shit, like Jason Crump just rang me today saying about if we go and do this under-21s, he'll help you out with a bike and, you know, tools and shit like that. Then, it was madness, man. Like, if Crumpy walked into the pits or something, I was scared of him, man. I didn't want to, I really admired him, but like, he was so intimidating, dude, you know, like you give out that vibe that, fucking, what are you looking at? You know what I mean? Like, that's he got off Jason. And it's funny now, like, no one obviously went through a few years of obviously the end of his career, or like good part of his, and in the end. And I feel like we're quite good mates, and I can talk to him like normal, you know. But at the very first, we'd go to his house, I'd shit myself going, oh no, you know, he's going to say something, I've got to have an answer. But yeah, that's how it all sort of kicked off, I suppose. But yeah, there was no real plan at all, no plan.
That was cool. His dad, Phil, was obviously my hero when I was a young kid at Swindon. And then me and Jason and Lee Kilby, we used to be running around playing Speedway. So he wasn't that cool then, so don't worry.
Yeah, true. See, I've turned up when he might have had one World Championship.
Yeah, yeah. So you're like, whoa, shit.
One of the first times I turned up, maybe the second actually, like I did the under-21 qualifier at Bellevue, and Pooley obviously literally sorted out that whole thing because Mick obviously helped him when Jason took him under his wing a little bit. So maybe they had like an IOU deal going, and Jason went, right over, Pooley, I'll help you out with Chris. Like, we never knew each other. Like, me and Jason or my family had no real deal with the Crumps apart from we knew who they were, and you know what for Australian Speedway, they were massive.
Massive, yeah.
How it all literally kicked off. But yeah, it's wild how it goes, you know, how it all works out. It's mad.
Yeah, exactly that. When I did an interview with him and he mentioned it, I was quite chuffed that he mentioned we played Speedway as kids. Right. Your mate's turned up. One of your mates has turned up here at the bottom of my screen here.
I don't have any. What are you talking about? I think I'm hiding out in Andorra at the moment. There's no mates out of you, mate. I'm off the grid out here.
Right, I'm going to bring him in, this man. Here he is. Charlesy.
Hey, Chris.
I cannot get away from this bloke.
Listen, man, this is one of the best formats. I bet you there's whiskey in that as well. I'm back on the Fosters, man.
Like I got here the other day, and I ain't been here for about 14 months, man. I would off shit in the fridge, the whole lot. But there was about a quarter of a bottle of JD left, and I went, I'm having that because we literally just drove.
Jesus Christ, I don't know how much Laney's put some gin in here. I'm going to be getting wrecked with Holder here. I'm going to be getting wrecked with Holder.
Funny story, England's in the most severest lockdown, shutdown. I've just got myself out of the country like that. How easy is that? What kind of lockdown's that? I just got out.
Hey, listen, right? So I spoke to Lee earlier, Crispy, and I said, man, love what you do. And he's having some legends on this this program he's got. He's dead set, different to what I do. But he goes, ask Crispy if he's man enough to tell the story how he got Monster Energy sponsorship. So either you're going to do it or I am. Go on.
Do it. No worries.
Go on.
I was going to say I was leading the World Championship at the time, but I already had it. But we're at the World Cup or something in Boyens, weren't we?
No, it was a GP.
Was it GP?
Yeah.
Did I get fourth maybe? Did I get
fourth? Freddie Lindgren had your front wheel on the fourth bend of the last lap in the final.
And I still hate the bloke for it. I don't hate Freddie. He's a weirdo, but I don't hate him.
He's a weirdo.
No emotion. I can't deal with people with no emotion. But yeah, true. I got fourth. He did. I think last corner. We're back, weren't we?
You were dirty, man. You were so revved up. I remember.
But the classic is I even had a Hagen shock sponsorship, which is shocks and wheels, and I was whinging because I had spokes missing out of my front wheel. I didn't have to pay for him.
I'll find the video from it. Oh,
man, I remember clear as day. We're at the front of the van, and Monster had literally just got involved a little bit, obviously with Greg a lot, but then maybe even Golub might have sort of half had a bit of a deal going. And we're standing there, and I know the dude, Kuno, his name was, and we were chatting shit out the front of the van, and you're like, something about red cow and all this shit. And I was like, whatever. And then he said, fuck, I thought CH was hooked up with Red Bull.
Yeah, it was sort of the right story. You were at the van. You were at the van. I went over to say hello to Greg because I
didn't see this bit. So
yeah, right. This is the truth. This is what the kids like. So I went over and they said to me, is Chris going to go with Red Bull? And I said, nah, man, it's not the right image. And they said, we'll give him a call because we're going from.
Just quietly, I never had no offers from no Red Bull. So this is like, hearsay. I didn't know deals with Red Bull whatsoever.
No, but they thought because your connection with Crumpy, you might go the Red Bull route, right? And we were going from Voyens into Torren into Lesno for a Lesno v Torren away meeting. And they said to me, this is on the kids' life, they said, we'll call him in a couple of hours. And so we got in your van, we started heading off to Torren and we're watching Gamer, the movie with that, remember the movie Gamer?
Was it Gamer or bloody? Was it Gamer or what about the other one? Remember I remember turning up in Lesno and we were like obviously.
I was asleep then.
Yeah. You would have been out of control, but we watched fucking the Bourne series and I'm like, what's this shit? And you're like, it's a Bourne series. And we watched Matt Damon, fucking all three of them.
Yeah, back to back. And then at 2 o'clock in the morning, we're between Denmark and Poland, and you get the phone call. And I remember you pausing Gamer on the way, and you spoke, and you said, that was Monster. And I said, I fucking knew it. Where's me commission? Haven't got a cent to this day. And I had to give me Chris Holder's shirt back.
I swear to God, I reckon you were filming that because I don't remember it.
Oh, dead set. You're the tightest ass, man, honestly.
I found about 30 of them about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, I had Monster Joe on last night, and he said the only reason I don't have Monster hats is because I haven't been to a Grand Prix, so I'm going to every one this year.
Okay.
So you got the Ashtec on there then, Chelsea, isn't it?
Yeah, powered by Ashtec. If it's not for free, it's not worth having. One of the best engine tuners in the world. I don't know what Chris is going on about, where he's going this year, but
yeah.
Don't forget I said to Ashley that he was watching me race motocross before he got into all this. I said he was my fan first.
Hey, Chris, it's good you got out of the country, mate. Like it just shows how tight the borders are.
I do. Tell you what, Boris ain't mucking around.
Hey, listen, I'll let you two crack on. Love what you're doing, Lee, man. Ask Chris what age he started wearing shoes as well, because Appin's known. There we go.
I still don't know him.
Hey, Lee, thanks for having me on, man. I'm
No
going to
problem.
be on Instagram a little bit later with a bit of a giveaway to anyone watching as well. So
Yeah, do you want to give yours a quick plug while you're on it?
Yeah. What's it called again?
Charlesy Chat Show on Instagram.
That's it. That's it.
Plum suppliers, Facebook T-shirts. What else?
Plum Stock, fucking Chris Holder Racing, fucking answers the phone every now and then. Rings me when he's pissed, but won't answer when I'm pissed.
Silly not Billy, mate.
Where's my Chelsea T-shirt?
Mate, I haven't got my own one. What have I got here? Send you a can.
I've seen a couple of them. Yeah,
hey,
listen,
mate, love what you're doing, man. You've got some dead set good shows, Lee. Keep it up, bro. Awesome.
cheers, mate. Love your stuff, mate.
No, by the way, Lee, no one in Australia drinks Fosters, only imposters, mate. So say no.
Oh, that's shots.
And he can't do nothing about it because he knows it.
Hang on.
He knows it. No one drinks Fosters.
Go on, then, you mongrel. Let's fucking get to Johnny.
Oh.
Just warming up, Crispy.
All right, I'll ring you in an hour then.
I bet you will. Yeah, I know they will. Hey, just to set the record straight, it's James Holder is the original Holder, all right? There's only one Holder.
No denying it, mate.
Yeah, good man. Hey, I'm going to keep watching. Take it easy.
Right. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Cheers, Chelsea. Take it easy. Thanks, mate.
Right.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers, mate.
Serial pest. Hope he's watching.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Right, where were we? What riders did you look up to and sort of idolise when you were young, Chris? Was there any speedway riders or motocross riders that you idolised when you were young?
Pretty much, like I was obviously mentioned Boise a few times. So Boise was a really close family friend. So Boise was like our main sort of go-to guy. And then obviously when I got a bit older and whatnot, then obviously Mick Poole was a big deal because he obviously had some pretty serious injuries throughout his career. And then when he decided obviously not to keep going back to England and all the rest of it, he was like the king of Australia. Like even when all the good guys would come to race in Aussie, he'd beat him and we'd be like, holy shit, like Pooley's on fire sort of thing. Even though he'd probably get a couple more extra gate ones because his old man promoted Gosford, which Charles he can probably agree with. He's probably swinging the spanners. But and then as for like any other sort of sports growing up, like we did all kinds of sports. In Australia, we do a bunch of stuff and we did like soccer. We do soccer in the winter time, like our winter.
Yeah.
And then we started playing baseball. Like not that baseball is massive in Australia, but just we'd always be like doing sport kind of things and all that kind of stuff. So, but obviously love motocross, supercross, and even like as I've grown up, supercross, I watch it religiously all the time and watch every YouTube. I've watched, man, in lockdown, I've literally finished YouTube. Behind the Dream, I watched that about 30,000 times.
Yeah.
UFC, McGregor, like obviously all them guys.
Yeah.
Anything where people are like working hard to get something and they talk about it. I really like that kind of stuff. So, any of that kind of shit. But yeah, Boise, Pooley were our Aussie guys. And then obviously when you get to that next age group, when you sort of realise, you know, what's out there and whatnot, then obviously Crumpy, like the main 3 or 4 guys, Crumpy, Lee, Ryan, Wiltshire, like them guys, like they were our trendsetters for me anyway, you know what I mean? So yeah, them like for sure.
Very cool. Oh, looks like Ashtec's come on. Here he is, Ashley. True Ashtec ambassador.
Yeah, Ash is a good fella, man. Like,
top lad.
Even like a couple of years ago when I was obviously my whole lead up to being successful, I was Johnsy all the way through until it never ever turned sour between me and Johnsy. It never started, something happened, didn't start, but it wasn't working for me. And then everyone was sort of chopping and changing. I went through this phase where like there was me, Wolfie, Greg, and obviously Darcy before he was injured. And then Darcy was injured in 15. I think it was up until 2017, we had the best staff. That's the bottom line is we had the best staff, which obviously contributed to our results and all the rest of it. And when it got to 2017, it started to like slow down. Oh, the others caught up, I reckon. My opinion is the others caught up.
Yeah.
If someone's going good, for 3 or 4 years. But like even if you're the athlete or the tuner or the whatever, if you're on a roll, the other guys aren't going to be like, oh, this guy's the best or this guy's killing it. They're going to be like, right, you know what? I'm going to work double time and go boom. And literally it feels for me like that's what happened with our Johnsy deal. Like we had the best staff up until 17 and then Woofy bailed, Greg bailed, and I reckon I'm a pretty loyal person. So I hung around for as long as I could and still sort of dabbled with other people. But like in Speedway, it's so fiddly, man. Like if I go to a tuner and say, oh yeah, I want to get your engine, like I ain't getting what their main guy has, which is understandable. Like,
yeah.
The tuner can say like, yeah, it's the same as him, but how do you know I'm not going to go and run to my old tuner? You know what I mean? Like it's a massive trust thing. And that's the biggest thing. Like you got to work your way up. And that's what I did with Johnsy. I started at the bottom and we had good success. And there was guys that went to Johnsy that couldn't get the shit I had and Darcy had and Woofy had or Greg. And that was our thing. That's why we were head and shoulders above a lot of guys for like them 3 or 4 years, because we were like, Johnsy was a step ahead and we had the best stuff.
Yeah. And like you said, all the guys were always searching on the setups and on all that sort of thing all the time.
Hashtag, like, man, every time I had an issue, I'd go to him because he was close to Torren. He's an English guy and he's a good dude. Like, he's a good guy, as you know. Like, you can talk to him. And you can. I've had issues with engine tuners. You like want to talk about things, and they just go, just write it. And you're like, mate, I know I think I've got enough experience to know what I sort of want or what I'm feeling or what I need. And if you're telling me just write it, but you want to take a shitload of money off me, we'll fucking catch you later, mate. If you're not willing to like put in some work with me to help, then. But Ash has been a champion. So Ash, if you're watching, mate, legend. Thank you.
Yeah, top man, Ash. Good to see you, mate. And I'll speak to you a bit later as well. Got quite a lot of people coming on saying class rider, needing back in the British League. Awesome rider. Let's have a look here. We've got.
Thanks, guys.
What is that? What is the? Obviously, I've got a question later on, but we'll get it out of the way now. Is obviously the new rule. I know you obviously race regular in Poland.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know about the new rules with is it one other league? What's your thoughts about that, and what are your plans on that?
Man, it's bullshit for sure. First and foremost, it's bullshit because I understand from their point of view, like they're as much as say the English Speedway and all them, everybody wants to not admit it. Sorry, they if you got the money and you rule the roost. Like they have the sponsors, the TV deals, like good contracts, all that kind of stuff. So I can understand from their point of view, like their sort of main thing is they've got this really good product with a lot of money involved. And obviously when money talks in anything, and if you go to England and ride, say, I'll say Pool just to be neutral.
Okay.
Get hurt at like Pool on a Monday night racing, you know, not say nothing serious. It's obviously always serious when you're racing, but if you get injured, get hurt, and then Poland can't have you for the following weekend, and it's massive. Like it's a big deal for them. They can't. There's no guest riders. They can't ring up Lesno and go, "Oh, Lesno, can we borrow Chris for tonight or borrow Emil, sorry, for tonight?" Like they run it completely different. Their level is so far above not just England but everybody. Which whether I don't know what the deal like. Yeah, they got the sponsors. They put in the work, and that's just it's more popular in Poland. There's no two ways about it. So they get to decide a little bit on that front, and like their argument back is, well, you don't have to ride here if you don't want to do the 2 league deal. But like if you're wanting to make a career out of it, and you want to progress, you have to be there. So you nearly have to just suck it up and be like, you know what, like I'll go do what you want me to do and do it, and hopefully in the future it can change for sure. Because like we'd always race free. Like if you made it to a half a level in Speedway, your thing was you race Poland, Sweden, England. Poland, that was the routine for everybody. And then Grand Prix if you're in that. And that was like, it was up to you if you wanted to cut back on Sweden or if you didn't want to do England. But it's difficult when you want to be based in England, like say for most Australian guys and obviously English fellas as well. You want to be based in England because that's the closest thing to home. It's you speak in the language, you know the deal. Like we lived in Poland for that year, and like there's nothing against Poland, but I don't want to live there. Like that's not. My life. Speedway is obviously a massive part of it, but that's not my deal. I don't want to just be Speedway, and I want to live here and live and breathe it. I want to go ride me jet ski down in Harbour and go hang out with mates. You know what I mean? So
enjoy your life as well. Yeah.
And probably the worst thing is with this whole situation with the COVID, it's like the worst time to bring that rule in.
Yeah.
Poland just don't give a fuck, which whatever they do. That's the worst bit. It's just the timing. If it was a different time, then maybe it wouldn't be such a big issue. But we've all lost, everybody, not just riders, but mechanics. Everybody's lost out on a lot of things, and they bring this rule in to limit what a lot of people can do. And it don't just affect us; it affects a lot of the mechanics and whatnot. Because we don't need the massive team. We can argue about money because we're doing literally two matches a week. We're not bouncing around, flying in and out of countries, flat chat. So it's a tricky one.
I better get a couple of these guys' questions in. They're all firing loads in there. Got Chris Tilley has put, Chris, your brothers went well at Plymouth. They are going into the Championship League and are building a team. Available, been approached.
We just answered that question. I can only race one more leg out Ireland. So I don't think, to be honest, I would, at the minute, like I don't think I'm that washed up where I've got to go back. Nothing bad about the second division in England, but like I've got bigger intentions to be dropping down like that. Like I'm not satisfied with what's my career's been like so far. So I've got, plans and goals that I want to achieve. But I went down to Plymouth a couple of times with Jim when he was there, and then obviously Jack did a couple of years there. I mean, that's a different type of speedway. Like speedway in England's totally different to, like, say, the top league in Poland. Like, and I like the English style because it's just like crazy and not make the rules up as you go along, but just like shit that shouldn't happen. You're like, how's that happen? But whatever. That's the same with Australia. Like we can have crashes in the second corner and be like, oh yeah, bring it all back. Fuck it, bring it back. Where it's good to have that shit, like the politics or the shit sort of released a little bit and be like, we're here to race the speedway and have a good time and whatever. Like obviously rules are meant to be followed, but like it's just like crazy. It was like a little bull ring. Like I went and watched it a few times and I was like, holy shit, this joint's out of control. But it's good. I'm glad they're going back up. They deserve to, and I hope they make something of it. It's good.
Charles, he's a fucking no. He's not watching. He's on the phone to me.
Nah. Max is on the phone. He's playing Fortnite with my girlfriend, Dom. They're in the bedroom. They're playing Fortnite online. So my phone's going. So we're full of shit.
Everyone likes the Fortnite. There's loads of them on the Fortnite. Right. I got Alan Little here. He's put Nicky Patterson's temper. Discuss, please.
His like it's so funny. Like even when we had that little sort of thing going down in 2012 and all that kind of. I like Nicky, man. I rode with him in 08, 09 in Sweden, and like that's when he went back to back. I think World Championships. So 07, 08.
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah. So maybe I got the second year of that, but yeah, he was dynamite, man. And like we'd obviously. When we fly around, like this is the part that probably the supporters don't understand so much. When you fly around, like we go to the airport, we're in the same team. So we go to the airport, you see him at the airport, you're sitting on a plane, whatever. We're in the exact same hotel that every rider's in. Yeah. So you can't not see each other. If you ride for the same club, you normally share a room sometimes. We never shared a room, but you could be sharing rooms. If you're not sharing rooms, we're in the same car going to the same meeting because we ride together. So we don't give a shit if you wanted to kill each other on Saturday night at the Grand Prix. We're not sending two cars 4 hours to pick you up from the airport. Like, they're both going to sit in this car and come with us. Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for him. I really like him. Like, obviously, he can come across as a dickhead, which is fair enough. I can come across as a dickhead too. So there's nothing wrong with the guy. He's won 3 world titles, so like you can't take that away from him. Like, he's so determined and like he's I think in his prime, his biggest thing was like head fucking people, so to speak.
Mm.
But I reckon, like, when him and Crumpy were going at it, he had Crumpy's measure in the head, not on the bike. Crumpy was a really emotional dude, as you were saying. Like, he was so, when he'd win, he'd going off. Where Nicky could just smile at you and you'd want to punch him in the face, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he could fuck with you that way, get you that wound up where you couldn't do what you sort of blow it a little bit. Not blow it, but just make the wrong move or whatever. But Nicky's a cool dude. I like him. And when we race, like, when you turn up at the tapes, don't go around him unless you're going to get around him. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised if you try and go around him and he puts you in the fence or hits you. And don't be surprised. Like, you know what you're up against. So don't get bumped and then come in crying about it. Like, give it back to him twice as hard and turn around and go, is that good? And he's normally the first bloke, if you've had a good race, and as long as he's nailed you and you nail him back, he'll shake your hand. But he gets upset if you just stitch him up. He won't like it. But you sort of do what he does back to him. That's the best. Yeah. Smile at him and yeah. I'll do it again, mate. No worries. And then it's all good. And Nicky's a cool dude. As soon as we get change out of the suit, different guy, totally different fella.
Yeah, racing, totally different thing.
Yeah.
When you're in your British League racing, who was the sort of toughest opponents racing wise in the league?
In the league. We had, like, obviously in Poole, we had that rivalry with Eastbourne there, which was obviously sort of localish, I suppose you want to call it. Yeah. History there. But then that didn't last super long. Like, we had that little rivalry there, but then the biggest thing between Poole was Coventry. That was like a love-hate. Like, I remember Matt Ford would not go to the meeting because he was not worried he'd get, nothing bad would happen to him, but he couldn't handle shit on him.
Yeah.
And like, I've got to go do this tonight. And we'd be like, and me and Darcy would be like, you little bitch, come on. Like, when we'd race with Coventry away, we'd be frothing like, good, let's go there and piss them off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And more times than none, we had a great team at school. And Cobb obviously had a good team, but we were the more dominant team of that era, so to speak. And we got off on they'd have to put us on the truck at the end, that big monster truck thing, and the fans would be going off, like
a few minutes,
telling you you're a wanker, and we'd just be sitting there going, yeah. What up there? It was good though. Like, I can walk away and not have an issue with that, but obviously fans in football or whatever, they have this grudge where they can't let it go, but fully understand. I love it. That's great, and it makes the sport. But yeah, Coventry Poole was always a heated deal. Like, you could feel it. You could turn up and you'd be
tension and that.
Yeah, this shit's gonna explode in a minute. And then a bad ball or someone get knocked off. Oh my god! Like when I knocked Bomber off in that final, and Bridger ran him over.
Yeah,
he was in Poole. Like, I was like, thank hell I'm at home. And then to back it up, we did the rerun, and me and Chris Harris have got a great relation. We always have great races together, and but that was obviously not intentional whatsoever. That was like, you left an inch, I'm going to run through. I didn't know you're going to get run over, whatever. But then we do the rerun. He runs back to the pits like Iron Man, all that bullshit. Comes back on this mad race. Like, there was chances in that race where he could have stopped me, and there's chances in that race where I could have just went, fucking no chance. But because you give me that room on Friday, like, I'll give you that room. You know what I mean? That's what riders do. Like, you never forget kind of things. So
a bit of rider code almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you. Has there been any certain sort of engines over the years that you've had as a bit of a favourite? You sort of touched on some Johnsy ones earlier. I know some of you guys have nicknames as well, don't you, for engines?
Yeah, we do. 100%. We do. Obviously, when I won that world championship, I had that one engine. I had obviously I'm never one to have a bunch of engines, like say 7 or 8. I'd normally just, if I got 2 or 3 good ones, man, I'll ride them things everywhere. That's it. And in 2012, I remember doing Poole Press Day, and I obviously had my 3 motors that were going to Poland, and I was riding them there just to have a ride on the bikes. And I did about one lap, and I remember doing a lap round pool and going like, holy shit, like this thing is good. Like that was hard work to get round. Like that was taking me for the ride. And I was like, right, that can go to Poland because that's way too much for what I want to be doing around this joint. And then obviously went to New Zealand, which I don't really count because Max was being born at the same time, whatever. But then I literally rode that engine every Grand Prix, which I can vouch for. And it's got the red moon on the side, so there's no bullshit in there. But then I never used it in every Polish and Swedish map. I don't think I might have used it once or twice in Sweden. I literally just went, right, that engine comes out when I need the money. I'd literally be like, right, we're racing in Poland. This team's not pretty good. I need to make sure I score. I can't rely on me riding good. Like I want to get a shitload of points tonight, get that out. That's how it was. Like that thing was that it was good where when I say it's good, it wasn't like it was insanely fast. I didn't have to change anything on it. I could just go, boom, put that sprocket on, do one race and be like, take one off. That's it. Wouldn't touch it again.
Wow.
Where like if you ask anyone, normally you do like jet, ignition,
pissing around with all of it,
and to that sweet spot. The sweet spot now is about that big. The sweet spot on that thing was about that big. I couldn't miss it. Literally, I couldn't miss it if I tried. I think in my little TV, right at the end of the series, I think I was. I ended up after that round. I got second behind Golub and ended up pulling an 8-point lead. That was the first time we changed the jet on that engine all year.
Bloody hell.
Like a really small one to a big one. And that was obviously, it was really cold and it was getting towards the colder end of the months and whatnot. That was the first time we touched it. And we didn't want to touch it because we're like, man, this thing is like gold. Don't touch it. And how's this? Like, there's a bunch of people know it, but probably not so many fans. When we went to Torren for the last round, I was there the week before and I had 5 bikes and I rode every one of them. I didn't ride that one. I rode all my other stuff. I brought shit from England just for like a spare. Like, if something goes wrong with that one, I need to make sure we're good to go with whatever. And all my other shit was good, so I wasn't worried as if I've got nothing else to save me. When we come around to practice, they're like, oh, do you want to do the practice? I went, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do practice. I didn't even ride that thing. I had that was in the garage. Left it and rode, just practice, wheelied and fucked around and just tested my other shit round. And it's pretty wild that after I'd won, it blew up in the semi, right? Imagine if I practiced on it.
Yeah, I remember that,
in heat 1.
It
was fucking mental. So yeah, it was that was my favorite, obviously. And then since then, when I had 2016, I had a good year and I ended up 4th overall in the championship, only a few points off the podium. I only had 2 engines for the whole year this is just for Poland and Sweden. Like I had 2 in England. They don't count. We never really bring our shit from England to abroad. And I had 1 engine for D-Dub because obviously he just got injured, Darcy.
Yeah.
That was his nickname, D-Dub. And that's what I won Melbourne on. I've still got that engine. It's in my workshop.
Oh, yeah.
And I won't use it again because it's obviously too old now. And that's like the last GP I'd won at the moment, but it means a lot to me. So
yeah,
it was cool. I've still got it. But yeah, we called it D-Dub because it was the best one I had. I went, right, that's the best one. That's Darcy. And it went really good.
Nice. I like that. Personal. Love it. What's your favourite tracks in the British League then, Chris? And the not so favourite?
Favorite tracks, man. Pool was a good one. Only probably because that we rode it all the time, obviously, and it's such a cool shape. Man, we, not just me, but me, Darcy, Waddy, Magic, even we would follow up with Matt over the winter, going, fix the fucking thing, man. The shape is beautiful. Like, get a blade, smooth it out. It's a great track, and it just got progressively worse and worse and worse. And then even when I wasn't riding there, and Jack just started there, so I might have been at King's Lynn that time. I remember going down there and watching a meeting, and they lost, and they were whinging in the paper the next day about Poole losing, and I was like, get effed. That track is bullshit. Like, if that's what you're serving up to your guys, it was a massive and ongoing thing, and it wasn't just that one meeting, man. You could ask Midlow. We'd complain every track walk. We would be the biggest complaining, whinging bastards. And then, Matt, the best thing was Matt's answer to that was but you fucking won. You won. Yeah, but we don't like it. It's shit. We want to like feel good racing around here. We're like ripping, bouncing around, all the rest of it. But that was shit to see it go down that route where it could be so much better. And we'd have a good track and the racing would be good. We'd literally walk into his office and go, and he'd be happy about we won. It was a close match and some great racing. And we'd be like, mate, look at the track that we had a really good track today. Like that's like the dance floor, so to speak. If you want us to dance, put the best thing out. We're a great team. We should beat the weaker team, no matter how easy the track is to ride. If you want a great racing, give us a good track to do it on.
Yeah.
So pool was a love-hate relationship. And then probably like the worst one. What was worse? I don't know. They all caught up with each other at the end. So
did you like I'm just trying to think, Eastbourne?
I'm at the track record of Eastbourne. You know why I liked Eastbourne? Because I could gate, so I didn't have to come from the back much. But if I had to come from behind, I would have hated it. But I like that, like tight, fast, quite grippy at times.
Yeah.
Really, I like coming in and like dropping the bike on its side and like parking it and going boom. And if you're in front, it's the easiest thing in the world. But if you're in second or third, it is a hell of a piece of crap to ride. Like you hate it. But I can gate, so I wasn't afraid of that one. But probably I didn't like when Leicester first turned up. I thought that was a bit wasted because they got a chance to build this great track and they built this real narrow, real straight, tight corners, like shit shape. My biggest thing was, why did you fucking do the shape like this? Like the best tracks that they all rave on about are like Somerset, big round thing, Bellevue, big round. Like, if you want racing, like to bring everybody so close, make it easy. You can have like a really tricky track, like, oh, you got to be a rider to ride this. Yeah, but what happens when there's 3 riders out of 14 blokes? Then what? What are you watching?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cool, yeah, it's not cool.
If you're a good rider, you don't give a shit. You're like, yeah, whatever. The harder it is, the better, because then the guys that shouldn't beat me won't beat me.
Yeah,
you can make it a really easy track, and it's like, holy shit, you got to set your bike up, and it's way more involved in setting up your equipment to work for it. But probably Lakeside.
Lakeside.
I didn't mind Lakeside, man.
It was an unusual small one.
I didn't mind it because it was like the corners are really wide, and you could ride it bigger than what it was. I think like me and Darcy, I think in 2010 or 11 maybe, we dropped maybe 2 points in about 4 meetings around there. Like we would go there and have like a competition who could fucking like do the best around there. And then like he'd go out, I'd be in heat 1 normally, and then he'd go out, and then we'd race in heat 13 and whatnot together. But we had this run where we weren't necessarily like, this is what we love racing on, but we liked that feeling of like ripping in, turning, parking it, going up to the fence and going like taking off. It was a weird one. Yeah, it was like, I never hated it, but I liked that feeling of, and like a lot of Speedway boys, like it's like the art of Speedway, right? You come in and you like drop the bike on its side and you got to ride the thing. So that was cool. But
I know you did the UK when you first come over. You did the Isle of Wight. What was that like?
Man, I watched videos back of that. I don't know how I'm sitting here talking to you. I rode like a lunatic. That was obviously one of them things where you don't know any better. So you literally just turning up like, this is Speedway. This is how you're gonna earn a living. Nothing wrong with this. And I remember teams hated going there. Apart from the journey and the ferry and all that shit, it was underwater. It was rough. It was bumpy. One corner was like a velodrome. The other corner was like the opposite camber. It was shithole. It wasn't a shithole, but it wasn't like I can't wait to go here and ride.
Yeah.
You do the parade lap and it looked like you've done about 15 heats because your bike would be covered in shit and all the rest of it. But yeah, man, that was like training, wasn't it? It was like that's how you like get going to, if you want to go to wherever you're heading, you've got to start at the bottom, right? So you got to work up, and I never complained. It was like, this is it, this is what I'm doing. So it was good, man. I met a great bunch of people down there and still know a few guys like now even. And then, yeah, if I've ever seen any bits and pieces of it, my biggest thing was how the hell, man, I lived in Peterborough. How the hell did I used to drive there on my own and back every time. What was wrong with me? No way did I drive that. I struggle to drive down the shop on my own.
Yeah.
Let alone 4 hours, 3.5 hours. I'd get back at
Long
3
time.
morning.
Long time.
But yeah, so I must have really wanted it back then. So I appreciate like the work. I think I put in some pretty serious, shit time to get to where I want to be. So yeah, it's good.
Good learning curve, and obviously a lot of experience racing all the different tracks in the UK. Yeah.
It sort of weeds out like, how bad do you want to do this thing? Like, obviously, I can speak for Australians where they see you go back to Australia, like, oh, he's been in England racing all year, like, oh, he's got it good, like, how good's that? And you're like, man, any advice you could give to a young Aussie wanting to go? And it's like, the biggest thing is you got to really love wanting to, like, it's not nothing what you're thinking. You're washing your bikes, it's crazy hours in car washes. You're on the road, you're doing it mostly on your own when you first kick off until you pick up mates and friends that can help you. But the majority of stuff it's a lonely road and it's like a hard slog. It's never ending. Like you just like boom, boom, boom. But if that's what you want to do, you got to be like all in. It's like we're a long way from home. We can't go like, fuck this. I want to go home. No chance. What are you gonna have for tea tonight? Oh, unless you can cook something, mum ain't coming over to cook you something. You sort of fucked on that front. But that's the way it is. But it's sort of probably what makes why a lot of guys that are Aussies that have made it not too bad. Of you coming here for one purpose and it's got to work. That's like your bottom line. You need to make it happen. So.
Obviously, being a Swindon man, I got to ask, what did you think of Swindon?
Yeah, Swindon was good, man. It was obviously with the Lee association. Like Lee's a massive person in Australian Speedway and all that kind of thing. So always, when anything Swindon related was Lee and Swindon. Yeah, it was mad. Like always enjoyed it. It looks good what they've done. Like the best thing they did was make it a bit shorter and all that kind of thing. Like the changes they made, because for us, it's like a lot of the tracks in England are way outdated. Like the bikes are quicker, faster, unpredictable, and the stuff that they rode on, even back in like early 2000s, it's not even close to what these things are like a light switch. You can't have the throttle control, tight, rough, big berm tracks. Like it's got to be like nearly a billion. It's got to be good. If you want good racing, the track needs to be good. And then making that a little bit smaller and making it and getting it sorted. Like I spoke to Doyley and Batch throughout the year, and they're stoked on it. They're loving it. So I look forward to hopefully getting another crack on it. So I'm sure it'll only get better and better, and hopefully, I know obviously the times are a bit different at the minute, but when they come back next year, whether it's with a new stadium or not, they get it sorted and they can have get back in amongst it and be good again.
We obviously know your massive pool association, and we know you rode at Kings Lynn. Is there any other clubs in the UK that tried to sign you that you didn't, that were close to signing to? Or what about Swindon? Did you ever nearly ride for Swindon? Or?
I managed Roscoe a couple of times.
Did you?
Like, I can't remember the last. Maybe I think before I went to Kings Lynn, maybe I asked him about it. But even going back to when I first came, I nearly ended up, instead of the Isle of Wight, because the deal that I had was through Boise, of all people, was like, Pool will sign you and then they loan you out to Isle of Wight. That was a deal, and that's what's sort of going to happen. That's like what they're going to come up with. And then Chris Louis, we had obviously with Pooley and Crumpy, there was Chris Louis and obviously Ipswich, like go to Ipswich, and then that Mildenhall were racing, they just come up. So that, oh man, it was like that. It was nothing like a flick of a coin to go Ipswich, Mildenhall, or Pool, Isle of Wight. And it was nearly going the Ipswich way because where I was going to be based was in Peterborough, which would have made a lot more sense to be going from Peterborough to Mildenhall than to be going from Peterborough all the way down to the Isle of Wight. But then it wasn't even nothing to do with money or anything, but it was more the fact of Boise's involvement with pool and like I was speaking a lot, like we didn't have many connections with Chris. I didn't know Chris, or my family didn't know Chris Louis from Bar of Soap, apart from seeing him on TV going, that's the line that fucking does this shit. Like that's that dude.
Yeah.
You know? And that's how I remembered him. And I'm like, holy shit, like this is Chris Louis. Like, Dad, speak. I can't speak to this bloke. So it nearly went that way. It was so close, man. And I thought at one stage it was going to go sort of that way because it was going to be easier for me to be there on my own. I never lived on my own. I would have been 17, living in a foreign country, trying to do what I wanted to do. Where Boise was there, but he was 3.5 hours away. Like it's not easy to just nip down there. But then not pros and cons, but it looked better in the long run to do the pool route. So that's why I went to pool. But that's where it started. Once I was Isle of Wight from 06, I was always going to pool no matter what. And then once I was there, man, it was so good down there. There was no one, I don't think anyone even asked because they knew I wouldn't go anywhere. So it sort of stayed there. Oh, wow. Holy shit. That's 07 Isle of Wight, or picture, not at Isle of Wight, but that's probably, what is it?
I don't know what that is. I'm trying to.
I don't know, but don't look good on me and shit there.
I'm just trying to find one with you with the Isle of Wight colours on somewhere, and I spotted it, and then
I can tell because you can. Yeah, I got that. I know that race jacket's 07. I know it's the Isle of Wight, but green obviously, so I'm away. I'm gonna say Newport. It looks like a wet. That's probably Heat 1 on a sunny day.
Obviously, did you have any? Have you got any superstitions at all? Have you, Chris, or any weird ones? Or
mainly, I used to have when I was probably like in the under 21 stage when I was trying to get where I wanted to do. I probably did have a few that don't make any sense whatsoever, which ain't really worth talking about. But mainly just you just got to try and work like a bit of like my old man always said, like say Hans Nielsen, for instance, like he's a machine, like he does the same thing every time. You got to keep that repetition of whether it works or not, but stay in that thing so you can like pick apart. If something's not working, you can find, all right, it must be that or it's this. But just, get on the bike the same way. What do I do? I know I do some weird shit, but I can't remember what I do. I don't know. So I don't know. Sometimes when I go to the gate, I'm not religious whatsoever, but I like pray that there's one good bit left on that gate. If it's something they race at me. I remember going around for that world final, the world final race, literally looking up going, God, if you're fucking real, you're going to give me a nice meaty bit off gate 1. And there was.
Was it? He was like,
it wasn't the second time, but I never found it the first time. But nah, nothing really, man. I just try and get on the bike from the same part. Nah, not really, man. Nothing that stands out apart from literally just if it's working, just keep doing. The only thing, like if I have a shit, if it's going shit, I'll change my goggles, and if it's going shit, I'll change gloves. Like just keep changing until something works, and then stay with it. That's about it.
Okay. Not I've seen some of these guys get new helmets and have to scratch them and all sorts.
I remember sitting in the.
Did you do that? Have you done that?
I remember being in the bloody workshop. Not workshop, the change room at pool, and I think Mads Corneliusen was guessing for us, and he had a new helmet or he had new something, and he scratched it. And I just watched him scratch it and went, "You fucking idiot! What are you doing? That ain't gonna save you." And nothing changed. I couldn't have done that. No way. I've seen guys drop helmets and just think, "Well, that's no good now. You've dropped it."
I'll tell you what, because obviously when I do all these with all these guys, I go all through photos and dig deep and look for different photos. Yeah. And I've noticed that, obviously I knew you was a spectacular, cool rider anyway, but I've go through them and some of your pictures are absolutely mint, like so many.
Sure. I was like, Cardiff, Manila.
So good.
Yeah, sweet, yeah. I can really. I'll give myself that.
Yeah, definitely that. Some really nice shots, loads of mint shots of you. This one I really love.
Yeah, that's good. That was Melbourne, 2016 practice. Might have
Really
been the
nice.
heat. I've got red helmet and red helmet. Normally you can tell if it's practice or not, if depending on your race jacket and your helmet. If they match, then it's the heat race. That's Torren. Yeah, that's a good one. Greg's got it. I remember that. That was like a photo shoot with Monster, and I remember Greg has a really good shot of it himself.
That is mint.
Lesno, 2012, when I just passed Golob and Hampel from the back. That was out of control. That was a good one.
Like that one as well.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, they're good, them ones in the sun like that, isn't it? Goals off maybe, yeah.
I like this as well. That was cool.
Yeah,
Cardiff GP.
2012. Yeah, I think I was off gate 4 in my first race, and I got a second behind either Nicky or Golob, and then I went through the card. That was wild. That pretty much sealed the not sealed, but that got me back in the championship, because it was that's when we were doing the double points thing and all that kind of stuff, wasn't it? So
yeah,
I got 23 points out of 24, and I think Greg bombed out in the semi maybe on 8 maybe. So I've just grabbed back a ton of points like that. So you really had to make the finals in them years. If you weren't in the final, you could get to the semi on like say 12 points and think, yeah, I've had a good night, run it last, and then old mate goes through and ends up getting 20 points, and bang, 8 points gone, like chewed out. So it was tough.
How many? You obviously won it twice, but obviously it's pretty much a home GP for you Aussie boys. Obviously we knew you won the Australian GP as well, but how cool was that to win that British GP? It's pretty buzzy.
Unbelievable, mate. Honestly, no words really to describe the Cardiff thing, because I'd been there 2 years previously, and obviously I remember being there when Bomber won, when he passed Greg.
Yeah, it was mental.
It just went off, and I was like, holy, you're kidding. And then obviously trying to get in the Grand Prix, but you don't even think like, I want to get in the Grand Prix of racing this. And then when you're in it, and you're like, all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, I'm going to be racing at Cardiff, like crap. And not just the event, but like leading up to it, like the intro, like when they do the introductions and all that, man, like we're like skins going crazy. You stand there just going, holy crap, like this is insane. And then obviously the lead up before on the Friday and Saturday, and the town's just buzzing, it's going mental. So it's one of them ones where you're like, if I'm gonna put my ass on the line and ride like a lunatic, tonight is the night I'm gonna do it, because it's worth the risk, like risk worth reward. Risk worth reward. Like 100% way, I'm gonna do whatever I can.
Yeah.
And
it's a special one.
And then the first year was crazy, because 2 or 3 weeks before, I come off in Torrent and got run over. Greg hit me in the back of the arm, and I thought my arm was broken, but somehow it weren't broken. But I had this crazy bruise on it, and I couldn't race for a couple of weeks because I had this massive fluid on it. And Midlow's mum actually did like this witch doctor techniques and somehow made it better. Yeah, we had it wrapped up in cider vinegar and some crazy shit.
Yeah. Old school,
Yeah, old school, exactly. Yeah, she come up with this crazy plan, and it worked. It like literally it went from being like normal looking, apart from swollen, to like purple. Like the color come out like crazy. Like I need to go to the hospital, man. Like this don't look right. And then anyway, it was not too bad. I think I practiced at Somerset maybe a few days before. I went, my arm's good. And then I rode, and my mum and dad and brothers were over. And it was like the first, I'd only been here, 4 years, I think. And they might have been here on the first or second year, but they hadn't been the first GPs they've seen. And I went out and won Cardiff in front of them, they were in the box. And I just remember just like, holy shit, like,
that's man.
This thing's just going mental now. Yeah, it was, I couldn't describe it. I'm like, yeah. And I think even in 2012, I don't know, were they weren't here in 2012, but both my brothers were there, and same thing. It's just like one of them ones that if you can win any of them, win that one.
Yeah.
And you'd be stoked.
Or twice.
Yeah, twice. I should have been 3 times. Fucking Emil. I was in front and the red lights come on. I didn't even touch him.
Oh, man.
He was out of control that whole night. Yeah, I was. And then in the rerun, Nicky just decided we're going to go to Newport or whatever's Norfolk.
That way, yeah.
Yeah, we're heading that way. And then Greggy just saw me. I remember Greg slipping around the outside. I remember thinking, I'm ready to hit the fence here. And then just seeing Greg's little shoulder just go, oh, and I went, no way. And then that was all over. No catching him. But it's like, yeah, one of them ones, the one that got away. But no, it was good.
Two's pretty good.
Yeah, hey, man, I ain't complaining.
Exactly that. Obviously, your brothers both in Speedway. There's Jack there. How cool is that, having your brothers around in your Speedway? And obviously, you grew up together and stuff and in Speedway.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Like, even when Jimbo, my older brother, come over and had a stint doing like the Premier League and stuff, like,
yeah,
good just having family around, because obviously when you first come over or whatever, like, we're a long way from home, so you don't see anybody. So having them here, whether it's racing or helping you out, is really good. And yeah, Jimbo did I think about 5 years racing in the second division. So going around helping him, like, I enjoyed going back to like that league and seeing like that's where I started, and like I like that kind of thing. And mechanicking and stuff it's not nothing like, oh, what's he doing mechanicking for his brother? Like, that's what we do. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I'll get my hands dirty. It's not a problem. So that was good seeing Jimbo go for that and experience it, and he had a great time and, had a crack at it. And then Jackie coming over, I don't know, he's been here probably nearly that many years now too. And then obviously he's going quite well and progressing and getting better and better. And it's good, man. It's like having a sidekick. It's pretty much when I had me and Darcy doing it. And then obviously all that, he got injured and all that kind of ended. And now it's like Jackie sort of filled that gap. Like, now I've got that again. That's a big hole to fill, but it's like, it's always better to do it with your mate or your brother or anybody, isn't it? When you're doing something that you both enjoy, it's nice. Always better to do it with a friend or whatever. So yeah, Jackie's been doing good, and he's sort of gone from strength to strength really, and he's got his eyes on what he wants. And if I can give him I'll say if I can, I'll give him that much bloody help. He owes me a fair bit. No, he's all good, but of course,
all brotherly love.
Brotherly love. I'm waiting for the return.
Yeah.
He's doing good, and now he's sort of making his own name for himself, and I don't have to do anything. I don't do anything. I was only really in the beginning, and I helped him out with bits and pieces, and now he helps me with bits and pieces. Oops. I think it's me son ringing us.
Help me out on Fortnite. It's all going down.
Exactly. I can hear him. It's him.
How is Max? Is he all right?
Yeah, he's good, man. He's good. We've been, obviously, the silver lining to the lockdown has been able to hang out with him as much as possible. So it's been great, and he's got him into soccer. Or he was always sort of a half a fan of soccer, but because I never be here, I can't really get him into doing. I want to do it on the weekends and playing competitively, So it's good that I'm here and I can do things that I grew up doing. Like, we go Saturday morning practice, Sunday play, and he don't know any better. He'd never seen that kind of stuff before, obviously, because his other, his mother or whatever and whatnot, they're not interested in that kind of thing. So it's good that I can give him that sort of side of things. So, yeah, it's awesome, man. So that's been the best, and he's loving it. And it was funny because he rang me yesterday going, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, guess where I am." I never told him. I was telling him I never told him. It was a last minute decision to come here, and I was like, "Oh, we're in France right now." And he's like, "What? Are we back soon?" Nipped out here. I gotta go pack up. So,
where are you going?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's cool.
He's going really good. Thank you.
Good to hear. Who was your? I think we might know one of them. What riders did you? What your favourite to team ride with, and why?
Well, obviously Darcy was a classic, because we had this thing where when he first came over to England, he come to pool, like, I took him sort of under my wing, so to speak, and then sort of went like, listen, like, I literally, whatever I've showed Jack, I showed him exactly the same. Like, I introduced him to Johnsy and sponsors, and like, come on, and like, his riding would have done the talking for him. Like, I'm not saying I'd help him, but before he got to be able to show his deal, like, literally went, right, you need this, you need that, get this, and give him the groundwork for him to go, and he went and took it huge, massive, you know. So when we were racing together, we knew what he knew me more than I knew him, sort of thing. Like, it was funny. We never really raced against each other, but he would or he'd know what I'm doing. I'd be looking like, oh, yeah, right, he knows. And so yeah, our relationship on the track was unreal. Like, we were probably, I think we won the best pairs thing or whatever, but that was made for us. Like, that's what we did. Like, we weren't greedy where like, oh, I had to beat you, like I needed this point, or it was none of that. Like, we'd muck around, whatever, and then if he did the hard work and come through, then I'd just shut off and let him take the race win. It was not like, well, I've been in front from the start, I need to win this heat, you know. We're like, oh man, you would not know how many guys you team ride with that have to beat you to the finish line to get the free next to their name. Fuck me, Dad.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, me and Jack do it jokingly, like wait and go like right, and like beat each other there to go. But man, you can team ride with someone and they will race you to the line as if they're racing for the world title to get the 3 instead of 2+1. It's unreal. But yeah, D-Dub was the best for sure. And then Jackie's literally, like I said, he sort of filled them shoes for me. Like, that's really cool. And then Waddy, like any Aussies that we deal with, like me and Waddy had a really good relationship and still do. Like the whole sort of time Darcy was around, Waddy was around, and he was like he was a bit older than me and obviously a bit older than Darcy. So Darcy would give him shit, and we'd sort of be this little crew that sort of got around. So we had great times, man. And I had a lot of respect for Waddy, where probably Darcy did, but he didn't show it. But we always, you know, I knew who the boss was, who the oldest guy was.
That's a nice one. That. How's it going, Eric? Hi,
Eric,
Chris and Lee.
What a bloody legend!
What a legend!
Yeah. So actually, when you had him on a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, I had him with Bruce, but then I had him on his own as well. Before.
Yeah, on his own one. Yeah, I had a quick look, and yeah, good respect for you, Eric, mate. Legend.
Absolute legend. Thanks for coming in, Eric. Great to see you. Top man. So obviously, with the Darcy thing and everything, Chris, obviously that must have affected you massively. Such a close friend, almost like a brother to you at that time.
Yeah.
That must have affected you, everything in life for you as well.
Yeah, man, that was huge. It was a really fucking hard thing to deal with, because like he was, you know, like I was saying about comparing him with him and Jack, like he was like a brother. He was like my younger brother that I was, come here, do this, do that. Like he would literally do what, if I said, yeah, jump, yeah, no worries. And we'd obviously been splitting up. I don't think that was maybe the first year that we weren't racing together in Poland, maybe. Oh no, sorry, maybe not. But I remember speaking on the phone with him the night before, and we were chatting shit and carrying on. And I was going through a rough time with shit that I had going on with an ex-partner, and we were carrying on and whatnot. And then it was like a bit of not a joke, but like a thing that was like, oh, he's riding for fucking Mickey Mouse. Like that's the team that hate.
I remember that.
Oh my God, they had a sign before it said F off Darcy. They had a sign going like Darcy and Chris love and piss or something. Like they used to spin at us, throw at us, all because we trod on a scarf like how many years ago? 6 years before then. They won the league and they threw a scarf into when we were walking the track, and we stood on it just for like, we want to throw a scarf down here, I'll kick your fucking shit sort of thing. They did not well. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Still hate, and if I go there now, I still get abused. That was 2009.
Jesus Christ.
You know, when I flew in when I did that thing, I got the helicopter from meeting to do They had people waiting at the airport to go give me shit.
No way.
Kid you not. And I'm like, and they're talking about the scarf thing. And I asked the dude, like, what's he saying? He's saying, oh, something about the scarf thing. I'm like, I feel like turning around going, get the fuck over it, you idiots. Oh my God.
That's mental.
But yeah, back to Darcy. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah.
And we would joke about him being at Mickey Mouse and whatnot. I remember when he first told me he'd signed there, he goes, guess where I'm going? And I was like, I didn't really know because I didn't know what his options were. And then anyway, he goes, Mickey Mouse. And I went, fucking no way. They're going to fucking hate you, man. Like, your kidney's like, yeah, I know, fuck. And we were joking around, like, laughing about it.
Mm.
And he had said, like, oh, I got a good deal. So I like, fuck it, whatever, I don't give a shit. And I was like, yeah, fucking do it. Like, because obviously he come back from his suspension the year previous. So he had to do, what, 3-4 months maybe the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And he obviously a penny had dropped in his head because he come out trained, fit, ready to rock and roll, and he was ripping. And he was on fire and all the rest of it. And then, like I said, I spoke to him the day before. Maybe, I don't know if I spoke to him in the morning, but maybe we did, because I spoke to him in the night before, like joking and carrying on and just chatting shit. And then we'd raced that afternoon. We did the 5 o'clock match, I think. And I can't remember who we raced, but after our meeting, we'd normally go up into the restaurant at Torrent, and they've got a big restaurant in the main grandstand. So we'd eat, get a drink or whatnot. And they had the second meeting on the TV. And when we went up there, I think the meeting wasn't even on TV. It might have been like might have been over already. I might have not seen it. And then I remember one of the sponsors getting up and running off, and then he come back and he come straight to me, and he couldn't speak English, and he went something about Darcy, and I'm like, what's going on? And then they said, Darcy's had a bad accident, he's back. I'm like, what's going on? So straight away I was like, you never think the worst, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, translation, he's back, like whatever, that could be a fucking bunch of things. Mm-hmm. So I rang the mechanic and they didn't answer, which whatever, like they're probably packing up. So I was like, oh, whatever. So I messaged the mechanic going, ring me, trying to find out. And then obviously they were on they had the after show after the Speedway in Poland. They did like a bit of a magazine, they call it.
Okay.
And they're talking about it, and it's getting more talk. I'm thinking, fucking hell, this must be pretty bad. Like, people are ringing me going, what's going on? I'm getting messages. I'm thinking, fuck, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to find out, like, whatever. And then the boss of, so I'm messaging mechanic. I'm just about to leave to go to Gdansk to the airport, which is 2 hours north of Torrent, where I'm going. He's about 4 hours the other way.
Yeah.
So I messaged the mechanic going, listen, give me a ring when you can. Let me know if you need me. So I'm driving. I'm not driving, in the taxi waiting. I was about half an hour, 40 minutes from the airport, and my phone rings going, his mechanic going, Chris, we need you here now. And I'm like, well, what's going on? And they're going, it's not good. And they sort of hang up, and I was like, what the fuck? Okay, man. So then, so I was like, to the taxi, I was like, hey, stop. Put on my maps, right, Zelona Gora, and show him, and he's like, can't believe, like, this is about 5.5 hours away. He's like, what? I'm like, fucking now, let's go. So then once we started again, I'm on my phone trying to find out, because I sort of didn't let it go, but when it was all coming on, I'm like, nah, like, I've messaged his mechanic. His mechanic will tell me. I don't need to into Chinese whispers. And I've had a broken wrist, and they're telling me my fucking shoulders busted and my legs broken. It gets out of control. So I didn't read anything of that. And then the fucking boss of the extra league rang me, which used to be Torrent's old president. Mm-hmm. And so he rang, and I was like, okay, hey, mate. And he was like, Chris, it's Wojtek. His name's Wojtek, whatever. And I'm like, oh, yeah, mate, what's going on? So it's not good. And straight away, as soon as he said that, fucking my throat fucking went, like everything just went, oh, no. Thinking, wow, what's going on? And as standard for Polish, like, there's no filter, there's no nothing. It's not like, oh, they just go, his legs never work again.
Jesus
Christ. Like, fucking what? And then I'm like, what are you talking about? Hang on, stop, slow down. Like, yeah, it's paralyzed. Fucking no good. What are you doing? I said, oh, I'm on my way there now. And they're like, yeah, get there. Can you get Joe? Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, no stress. All right, no worries. And I hung up, man. I just literally bawled my fucking eyes out, just going, oh, my God, this can't be true. Like, this has got to be bullshit. And then we're driving. The taxi dude can't speak a word of English, but he's our club taxi, and every news channel's got this crash on it. And then so I just hear Darcy Ward, and I'm like listening, not that I can understand a fucking word. And the mechanic's like the taxi driver's shaking his head. I'm like, what's up? What's wrong? And he's going, I'm doing this. And I'm like, fuck's this? And then it was obviously his neck. It broke his neck or something. And I got to the hospital about 3, and he was out of surgery, but he was hit out to it. And I literally went up there and seen him, and he probably wouldn't remember shit because he was literally just come out. And like he'd said in previous things, like he's in intensive care, but like he's in like a room like what's behind me with 6 beds in it. No privacy, no nothing. And yeah, tough, man. Fuck me. So that really fucked with me big time. And it probably sort of still, it always will for sure, but it did for a long time. And it took a long time to sort of be at ease with that, I reckon. But so yeah, tough one. He was like my little right hand man, and it's like you get not just what happens, like it's super terrible and all that kind of shit. But then even afterwards, like I go to Sweden, like he was my traveling partner, so I'm in rooms on my own, just like, man, like that's gone like that, bang, that quick and that easy. And that's the scary part where it's like fucking hell, like nothing was that quick. It just went boom, shit's over now, done. You can't fix that. Like there's no bringing that back to come back.
Yeah.
Have fun, man.
It's a shock, isn't it? It's a shock.
Yeah.
And you think everyone loved you too, as obviously you were both called the Turbo Twins and all that. And
but on the flip side, don't want to make it down a deal. Fuck, man, he's killing it. Really good right now, and he's in a good, much better space. Like we obviously dark times, and he's starting to do like a bit of speedway promotion thing and all that kind of stuff, which is good.
Just had a meeting, didn't he? Did he have a meeting not long ago, didn't he, Chris?
Yeah, he had his meeting, which went off great, and now he's just managed to, like when I said we have the dirt track speedway thing, he's taken over the speedway of the actual club, so he can run speedway matches, and he's in the process of doing that now, which I've seen the last couple of days. So fucking good as. So yeah, he's going good. He made the best out of a shit situation for sure.
Yeah, and he was riding at Swindon obviously at the time as well, and he was absolutely flying. He was unbelievable.
I just want to clear that up for Roscoe and probably yourself. He's not a Swindon rider, so it doesn't matter how many photos you want to put him in a Swindon suit.
You sure?
He's a fucking pirate, mate.
Yeah, I know that, mate. Don't worry about that.
I'm
a realist.
Yeah, Roscoe loves it, and mid-low seat. I'm like, see that shit out. He's not fucking Swindon.
No. If he'd be all the way through.
He came back and he was ripping. He was on fire, which is it's cruel as fuck. But that's isn't it? There's a lot of people. That's what happens. You can't whatever. You just got to roll with it and make the most of it.
Yeah, I did message him as well and said he's going to do one of these, so that'd be cool as well. He just said he was busy with the meeting at the time, but
he'd be fucking flat out now that he's a speedway promoter. The first thing I said to him was, if I come up to race in one of your meetings and I ring you and say, how's the weather up there? I don't want to hear no bullshit. Yeah, it's dry, mate. No.
Here you go, look. Here you go, Chris. Look, he's on there watching. We know he's Paul, mate.
It was
Gary
good.
Stead as well. Gary Stead.
Steady, how you going, mate? Yeah, Steady was a good dude too, man. We had some good battles, really good battles. He was a really good rider. So nice to see you, mate. Good to see you doing well too.
Yep. Obviously, you won even the Australian Championship. I think you've won it 5 times. Is that right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I've had a bit of a high. I ain't won shit for a long time, man. It's getting good. Yeah, I think.
What did that mean to you, Chris?
Yeah, heaps, man. I literally. I remember when we first sort of started, like obviously doing the racing in England and come back racing in Aussie, and I always said to myself and whatever, like I'll never not come back and race here, because the amount of good guys I've had, and I obviously didn't know the situation, they'd come back and be like, oh no, I'm not racing, and you're like, man, like why are you not racing? Like this is home. Like why are you not? People want to see you riding. And I always had this thing was like, no matter, like they were there when I first kicked off. I can't come back like, oh no, I've had a big year. Like it's one night a week, one night. Come on. But a lot of the thing with a lot of dudes is they're worried about getting beat by the local bloke who's been here all year. Like that don't pay money. If he beats me, man, I'll shake his hand and go like, holy shit, like you're ripping, like you're going good. But I know if we go to, if I take you to Pool Speedway, I'll probably lap you. So like, it's not a big issue for me that I've turned up and you beat me. Like, good on you, mate. But a lot of it, that kind of thing. For a lot of people, and I can understand when, if you want to have this thing where like you're a professional and you're good and you come back, oh, it's risky to race and all this kind of stuff. But like, that's not me. I pretty much swore that I'd never not race there. If I could do it and race there, then 100% I'll race, you know? So apart from I'd raced the last 2 years for like literally just for fun. And like, I mean, I didn't win. I couldn't give a shit if I didn't win. But the years before then, when I couldn't race, was literally due to circumstance. I couldn't get out of this country. I was fighting battles here that I couldn't leave. And now that it's all dead and buried, and apart from COVID, like I can't wait to get back and like going around doing the new Aussie titles, and that's like fun for us. Like it's like a road trip for a week where you're on the road with your mates and your family, and you're ripping around. I know it's 40 degrees and it's like killer at the time, and you're changing your own tires, going, "What the F am I doing?"
At the
same time, when it's finished, you're like, "Man, that was so good fun." So
it's your home country. It's nice to represent it again, isn't it?
It meant a lot, and to win the first one in 2008, I think it was really good. And then I had a run there. I think I got 3 in a row once, and they're always good. Like there was always me, Batch, or me and Doyley had a battles. We have it's like in any sort of national title. Like you can have guys that might have struggled. Say like for us, it's easy. Like they struggled in England or wherever, but you come back home, they're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Like different story. Like holy shit, like this guy's ripping right now, but he can't get it together there or whatever. So that's definitely not easy. It's it's a hard title to win, and it's over a lot of rounds. So you got to be consistent, take good stuff there. Like you can't get away with just going, I'm going to ride the bike I've left here for the last few years. Like no. If you want to win, like Jack's bringing back 2 good engines, I've got to bring back 3 good engines. You know what I mean? That's one
exactly
of them.
that.
Like you can't cheat it. And probably the best guys won every time, because the guy is the most prepared and willing to spend the money to get their stuff there and race, which is Fricky. Like Fricky's had a mechanic over there the last couple of years. Like, fuck, if I'm flying one of my mechanics over, like that's my opinion. Like, nah, like I've got mates that'll help me out. I'll help wash my bike. Like I'm not that phased. But it's a lot of slug, man. And if you want to do it where you don't do anything but turn up and race, which he's done, he's won the last 2. So fair play to Fricky.
Cool, top man. Got Paul Sullivan here. He's put noddy, legend. I nearly got a divorce because I had a Chris Holder tattooed on my arm.
You're kidding me. Yeah, I think I know your tat. I don't know your name. I'm not 100% on the name, but I reckon if I've seen the tattoo and you melon, I know who you are. Good on you, mate.
What was it like?
What, the tattoo? Yeah. What, the tattoo?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know. Ask him. I don't have it. He's got the tattoo. Look. I don't know. Good on you, man. I won't change the logo of it, then I'll leave it for you.
Trademark. Oh, I know obviously a lot of you speedway guys do the sort of motocross for training in the winter and for fun and all that sort of thing. Do you still do that, Chris? Have you got any motocross bikes or?
At the minute, man, I don't have anything. I'm like it's not like saying I'm in between jobs. I'm trying to swap all my old shit around and get it back to how I need it now. But yeah, when I go back to Australia, we do, we live in like a pretty rural town where there's bushland. We cross our road and it's not legal to ride in there, but you can ride in there, no worries. Like it's that much of it. I've lived there pretty much all my life, so I know we've been chased there probably a few. Considering how many times I've been out there, to the amount of times I've been chased or tried to be pulled up there, it's 1 out of 100 times minute, like easily. Like that's not bad. But we do just trail run, man. Not so much when I'm in Australia, not so much going to motocross tracks and pumping in motos or whatever, but just we cut tracks in on the grass hills and just like rip round and any sort of. I'm a big motorsport fan, so yeah, any kind of bike riding or whether it's riding the old boys Harley on the road or whatever, like I'm all for it. And like the Supercross right now in this whole lockdown, man, that's all I've been watching. I've watched same thing, the Moto Spy, all that shit. Press conferences, I'm watching everything. Like that's like a bit of a release for us because you literally locked down, aren't we? So there's nothing, we're not seeing anything apart from what's going on everywhere else. So yeah, I really like the motocross side of things, and I'm a motorsport dude at heart anyway. So regardless if I was a speedway dude or not, I'd have a motocross bike in my garage, 100%.
Yeah, I'm having an interview with Zach Osborne, so that'd be cool. Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
one.
I've seen when you popped up with Roger DeCosta, and I was
yeah,
like,
it's fucking nuts.
he's
I was
in
in
the
his
middle
race truck. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here?
I'm like, Big Marv needs help, and here you are having a yarn with him.
Fucking mental, isn't it?
It was.
Absolutely crazy.
Like, that's some pool right there.
Unbelievable, mate. It's been unbelievable. Got Zeb Tortelli tomorrow. It's like, holy shit.
Okay, yeah, I know that name.
Yeah.
What,
The race of Everts and that French guy, yeah. Sebastian Tortelli, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that name.
Probably the fastest I've ever seen on a 125, probably at Fox Hill. And
okay, yeah. Well, I've obviously been I've had a big sort of deal with Guy Nichols and the Nichols family. With
Jake I had on, yeah.
He's helped us out, man. I think in 2011, I think he hit me up, and Guy and their family. Jake's a champion. Like goes to work 9 to 5, or say 9 to 5, probably 7 to 5, and then rides like a madman. And they're just good people, like they're good people, and regardless of what they have or whatever, they're just mad people. And like me and Darcy would go to the Nations the MXGP at Madley and sleep in their camper. Then we'd be at we went to Lommel one time and sleep in their camper because Guy won't fly. He's a little bitch. He will never fly. He doesn't like flying. So he won't fly. So he drives everywhere. So we'd hang out with them, and I got him on my speedway bike one time when we made this mad decision after a GP. Like, yeah, you've never ridden? I'll give him my golden helmet Jarn to ride. Like it's like a trophy.
I think he mentioned it. He mentioned it in his interview. I said, "Have you ever done speedway?" And he mentioned this.
That's in my old man's pool room, and I'm like looking at it going, "Oh, they're not tell me, old man, that some bloke's ridden this." Nah, but yeah, they're good dudes, man. So we're cool with them. So we've been up there a few times and had been up there and hung out with them, and they're good people. I like being around them kinds of guys. Like regardless of the support or whatnot, they're just good. They're great, really good family that mean well. And he's had a rough run with injuries, as you would know as well. And
yeah.
But when he's on and he rips. And whenever we've got the weekend off or time, I rip out there and go check him out and hang and watch them. It's always a good time, man. So
yeah, fingers crossed. He should have had a couple of British titles in the bag, I think, when he got injured.
Definitely, it's harsh, isn't it?
It is, mate. It's hard going the old motocross, isn't it? Yeah, so I guess that's where everyone's got the link with Ipswich. Have you ever sort of thought about riding there? Because obviously I know they sponsor Ipswich, and obviously from that Suffolk area.
I'm trying to think. I'm a bit mixed up with the coronavirus shit, but it might have even been last year. I was so close. I was all but going to Ipswich. The only thing that was stopping was they couldn't wait any longer for my answer for the visa, because obviously I've had visa issues in the past.
Yeah.
And then in 2000, and then all that shit had all literally just about finished. So I applied again when I went home, and I was in contact. We had a deal, like literally set up, and with Guy being a big backer of them, he was like, "Listen, we want you to come." And I was obviously felt like, yeah, 100% I'll come. Like, you've helped me out plenty of times. Like, let's do it, like a deal. Like, we go there and all that kind of stuff. And I said to Chris at the beginning, I said, "Listen, like, I ain't got a visa yet. This is kind of what I need, but I'm not going to sign. I can't commit and say, yeah, I'm coming, because I did this in Poole in 2018 when it was all good. And then out of nowhere, I got stitched up and couldn't get a visa, and I was stuck. And it was kind of like people thought it was a bit of a setup, like, oh, he was never coming. They just needed to do this. So I said, listen, I've been burnt on that side before, and I don't want to burn you guys either, but if you can wait, 100%, like, I'm keen to do it. So he waited all the way until nearly February, right? Like literally probably a week or so before Crumpy had signed, because I was messaging Crumpy too. What are you doing? Yeah. I was like, what are you doing, Crumpy? Like, what's happening? Because I heard about his thing as well. And he said, I'm just waiting for you to do it. And I was like, fuck, I'm fucking waiting on this. I'm waiting for this visa thing, whatnot. And then Chris would be messaging every other week or whatever, asking about it. And I said, listen, man, as soon as I know anything, 100% first to know. And then it come through like maybe about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before I've got the visa. So I'm sweet now. but probably 2 weeks before, it was getting a bit late in their team building deal, because obviously I understand. And I said, man, if you get people, like, don't hold out and bank on me happening, because I can't guarantee you that. And so they did whatever they signed and whatnot. But yeah, it was happening. It was all but done.
Bloody hell. The Ipswich fans were like, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Maybe one day then.
Yeah, fuck, you never know, man. I want to be able to come back, and I want to be racing everywhere. But as long as the rules allow it, then we'll do it for sure.
What did you think about the Crumpy comeback then?
Fuck, man, surprise, man. Like, not so much surprise on, like, he wants to come back. Like, I could imagine when you want to, like, say, yeah, I'm sick of this for a moment. Like, I've been sick of Speedway a couple of times. Then after a month, you're like frothing, like, can't wait. Like, can't wait to get back doing it. You know what I mean? So, like, to have a big break, I can understand his thing about wanting to come back, but then, like, full blown comeback league race and then getting into it, it's like, holy shit, like, that's a big, it is a big commitment, but, like, I think a lot's changed since he would have last been racing, like, properly competitive. Like, 2012 was his last year, which even for me, this race since then to now, it's nothing. Engines and everything's the same. It's not easy, but shit don't work like it used to. Whatever you knew back then definitely, I can vouch for you now, does not work right now. So it was a bit of a shock, but at the same time, it's like, fair play. If you got the balls and determination to think, fuck it, I'm gonna have another crack, good on you, man. Like, go for it. And he's been doing a fair few meetings in Aussie and having a crack, and he obviously did the British final and the 2 meetings that were here. So yeah, what a champ, what a legend. Good on him. Good.
Looks like I'm going to get a picture of that tattoo anyway, so I'll have to hook you up with that picture. We'll check it out. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, because we did talk about that, and I can always get you on again anyway. Can have another chat whenever you're not busy. Just one more I'll ask you. Did you have any regrets at all from your Speedway career to date, Chris, at all?
I've never really thought. I wouldn't think I would. I've never really, like, thought about it. Like, should I regret on that or whatnot? Not really. I think this is who I am, and this is, like, you know, like your story. Like, you can look back in hindsight and go, fuck, I should have changed that. But at the time, they were the best decisions I could have made for myself, like, then and there. Like, so no, I don't reckon I would have. No, not at all. I've had a great time, man, and I'd like to think I've still got, you know, a great time ahead of us too. You know, managed to win a world championship. How many guys can claim that one? Like, that was pretty much not just myself, but anyone starting out is like, what do you want to do? Like, how far do you want to go? You want to be the best, right? So that was a massive tick on the box. But then it was a funny one, because once you tick that, it's dependent on who you are and whatever, like how you built and whatnot. It's like, where do you, Maxie, go to bed, mate? It's like, where do you go from that?
That's coming soon. It's
like, there it goes. It's like, where do you go from that? Like, I'm one of them people, like, it's like if you finish a game on the PlayStation, you clock it, what do? You don't start it again. You're like, fuck that, next game, right? That's the kind of, like, it was hard. It was like, you wanted, like, let's go again, but then it's not the same. Nothing's the same as the first time, right? And I could obviously winning multiple ones would be amazing, and I reckon I have, like, the fire in me to, like, want to do that. It probably took me a long time to get through a lot of personal shit to get back to where I want to be now, and I feel like I'm in a really good place where I'm settled and everything's going cruisy now. It's, if I want to do it, it's down to me. It's not down to other problems or shit going on.
Yeah, it's going on. Yeah.
But at that time, right then and there, then fuck yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I did what I wanted to. Like, fuck, I could have been wrapped up and finished then if I had something else to do, but I didn't. So fuck it, we'll do it.
Here he is. Give me a plug. I'm just at work, living the dream.
How you going, mate? I'll give you a plug. You did about 5 years in the Premier League. I remember doing a meeting at Reading when he'll be laughing his ass off on the site right now. I think he got knocked off, or he had about 3 crashes with somebody. He had a crash with maybe that Tom P. Madsen and someone else, and like he already had like a burn on his ass, and he'd gone down 3 times, like all together, like a few of them. And I remember him just like going, like yelling, like, fuck, like that hurt. And as he's walking, I'm like, oh, you poor bastard. And as I'm walking back, I've got the bike because I was a mechanic, and his fucking force field pad out of his ass pants, like come out his suit where the hole was. And I just went, oh my God. It just like landed sweet spot. The pads, even the pads ripped and falling out his suit.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny. Good on you, Jim.
Yeah, I remember James well. He was good.
Yeah, Jimmy had a good crack at it. He had mad time. He helped me out a lot, and like I said, it was good to have family around. Like we're a long way from home, so it's good to have.
Yeah.
You know, whether they're racing or not, it's good to have someone that you can go to that knows you, inside out. So it was really good, man.
We'll leave it on the future. What's the plans now then, Chris? Obviously, what's the future plans?
I smuggled myself out to Andorra with my girlfriend yesterday. So thank you. Appreciate it. Credit where it's due.
Exactly.
So I'm literally I had to come here because I haven't been here for about 13, 14 months. Like when I left here, I didn't think I would not be coming back here in 14 months. So I've come back here to pack it all up because I got a visa and stuff to be able to base myself back in England. So all my shit from England when I got booted out is here. So I've got a lot of stuff, as you can imagine. So I need to pack it all up, sign everything off, and get out, because at the minute it's just like a really expensive storage unit which needs to be closed. So yeah, our plan is to be here for the next probably week and a half or whatever, and just sort out a few loose ends and pack up and head back to the UK. But after that, like I said, everything's sweet. My old house is finally, after 5 years, sold and finished, so I don't have that bullshit going on. As you can see, Max has called in about 3 times, so we're read up, we're spot on that front. I have no worries about him. So yeah, I've found a bit of motivation and everything to get back to having a good crack at it. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck in and no distract. My biggest thing is distractions, man. I love speedway and I love racing, but if I have something going on in my I take my personal life pretty serious, where if something's going on, if I'm not happy about it, then my speedway job I couldn't give a shit about, but that's going to take a back burner until if I'm not happy, I'm not one good at faking it, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm not happy about something, I'm not happy. So I'm not going to make any massive predictions. But now that that's all sorted, like I've got no reason why I can throw everything back at what I want to do again. And, having the Corona break and all that shit, and you realize, like a lot of people would do, like how much you miss things. Yeah, I'm pumped, man. I've been doing my best to get, everything sorted for this season. So I feel pretty organized and looking to come out and have a proper crack again. So yeah,
you look fit. You look fit and ready to roll.
Waiting for someone to say that. Nah, all good, man. I'm feeling good, man. I've been looking after myself, and making the most of the lockdown. It's quite easily to go, one of 2 ways, right? So
yeah,
and fuck. And don't worry, I've had days where I've gone, fuck this shit, this is garbage. But the better days have outlasted the worst ones. So I'm not like a machine where I got to eat and do this. Like, fuck, man, I have a good time. But at the same time, when work's got to be done or you got to put it in, I'm willing to do that. So I've probably lost that the last few years, and if I'm willing to do that, then yeah, we'll see.
I'll just show you a couple of nice things here. Awesome interview. Helmet off to you, Chris. Good luck this year, Chris. Let's see you back on the top where you belong.
Yeah, I hope so. No.
Good luck to you, Chris. Top guy. Looking forward to watching you again on the bike. Good luck for the future and the new chapter. So everyone's on it.
Sure. Yeah. No. Nice. Thanks,
all the best to you, buddy.
Yeah. No. Awesome, mate. Cheers for your time, and yeah, good times, good fun.
Right. Pleasure. All on me. I really appreciate your time. Enjoyed your career to date, and hopefully to see a lot more of you soon, buddy.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Keep in touch. Exactly that.
Hopefully I'll get back into England now that I'm out and I can go again.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Top man, Chris. Take it easy.
You too.
All the best. Take it easy, man. Take it easy. Top man. Thank you, Chris. Cheers, mate. No. Awesome. Legend, Mr. Holder. Really enjoyed that. I can see I was getting quite a few messages on Facebook there, but I was so engaged with the chat with Chris and seeing your comments and trying to get some pictures out there. Still didn't get half the pictures on, and I'll definitely speak to Chris again as well. Hopefully during the season sometime as well, and that'd be cool. What a top guy he is, real down to earth. Great guy. Thanks for Charlesy as well, coming on earlier. Great with the banter. Really enjoy what Charlesy does as well. Have some real good fun as well with his Instagram. It's really cool to watch. I enjoyed that. So it was nice to get him on and have a little crack with Chris there. I can see all your comments just coming in. Thank you very much. Thanks, Lee. Real love it. Yeah. See it, Paul. Really enjoyed the top guy for sure. Thanks, really. Hats off to Lee and Chris. Fantastic program. Thank you very much, Graham. Awesome interview. Chris is a really top guy. Absolute beauty of an interview, Budge. Hope you're good, buddy. Thanks for that, bud. Awesome, dude. That was wicked. Thanks, Pete. Great interview, mate. Loved it. Glad to see him. Exactly. Basically answered. I tried to get him what I could, buddy. We did sort of roughly agree on a time, so I knew about that. So we'll talk again. Glad he's getting his life back on track. Not good when relationship stopped for a while. Top lad. Yeah. Thanks, Gary. We got a sort of date out as well. Me and Gary. Get a bit of bromance on here, Gary. Really good show. Enjoying it. Thank you very much, Ricky. Appreciate that. Another great one. Enjoyed that. John Cook, Dave Wright. Thank you very much. A lot of legends been on, but enjoyed his words. Spot on. Thanks, Kevin Barnett. Swindon man there. Great interview, Lee. Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you, everyone. Been loads of you online. So to confirm, I'm sure a lot of you Speedway fans or a lot of motocross fans as well. Don't know if you can see the shirt behind me there, Knoxbow there, look, 24 Tortelli. That was the LA Coliseum Supercross win there, Mr. Tortelli. Well done, Lee. Great interview. Brilliant interview. Thank you very much, John. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate that comment. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. live, I'm with two-time World Motocross Champion, multi-AMA Motocross winner, and obviously the Supercross I just mentioned there, Mr. Sebastian Tortelli. Really looking forward to that as well. Really one of the legends I looked up to as well, for sure, or everyone did in the 90s and the GPs. Him and Stefan Everts going toe-to-toe in the 250 Grand Prix was amazing. Probably one of the fastest guys I've ever seen on a 125 two-stroke Fox Hill and GPs when Tortelli was coming through as a youngster, 16, 17 years old. Unbelievable. So to speak to him live tomorrow, another wow. There seems to be a lot of wow moments at the moment, and I'm properly grateful to get to speak to all these guys. It's been amazing. Absolute dream come true for me. So it's amazing to be able to share all these memories with all these guys' careers and girls as well with Steffi Bow. That was awesome. So just to catch up on a couple of little things, obviously on the motocross bike competition, I've still got, it's only been going 2 days, which has been amazing. And I believe there's 110 tickets gone out of the 200 already in only 48 hours. That's amazing. So thanks ever so much, everyone, getting involved with that. Just give you a quick little rundown. You all remember Ricky Carmichael, obviously the legend, the GOAT, as it were. There is the bike that we've got the replica of. There's him at 1998 in my hometown, Fox Hill in Swindon. That was him there, look, in 1998, riding on the 125 Splitfire Kawasaki, and that's the bike we've got for the competition that you're all getting involved with. Just give you a few little quick pictures of that, and I believe I've got a little bit of a video as well. If I could get that up quickly for you before I tell you about the interview. Nice two-stroke 125cc. She sounds a peach. It's just nice for me to be able to touch a throttle after 20 odd years for me racing. So I really enjoy that. She's an absolute peach, as you can see her. Just give it a quick little walk round with her running. It's absolutely beautiful. So, yes, interviews. Got me little Motocross Speedway Memories diary there that Lainey Lou got me for Christmas, I think it was. Yes, I think it was. Right. So obviously I did Jackie Martins, former 500cc world champion, on Monday. Chris Holder tonight. We've got Sebastian Tortelli, 7 p.m. UK time live tomorrow. Cannot wait for that. Then a couple of days off. Birthday Friday. Check me out, getting older and all that. Monday is Speedway one for you guys. Alf Busk, former Coventry and Swindon star, former Danish international. So we can have a good chat with Alf. So I look forward to that. Then on the Tuesday, I've got Mr. Tim Heasman, where I'm doing the BSMA, British Schoolboy Motocross Association Legends series of interviews with all the guys I used to race with and stuff. So really looking forward to that with Tim Heasman on Tuesday. And then after that, I've got Leon Woodford booked in for the BSMA Legends series on 22nd, 7 p.m. UK time. I'll also hopefully get that booked in and confirmed with Lawrence Hare on Tuesday, the 23rd of February. But I will keep you guys updated on all the ones that I've obviously organised with the Speedway and Motocross. Speaking to a lot of guys, got a lot to organise, a lot to get in. Can't wait to do all them. So yeah, you can message me for tickets for the bike. I think I can see I've had a few messages, which I will get back to as soon as possible when I get off of here. So I appreciate those messages while I've been on here. Thank you to my Laney Lou. The beautiful, I don't know if you can see that. I think you can see that, can't you? The old crown on there. Look, the S72 gin from Mr. Everts. Beautiful. 10-time world champion gin there, look. Tastes 10 times better. That's how it works, apparently. Whew. She's gone strong on the gin there. She's killing me. Saying that, just any gin in there would be strong for me, wouldn't it? I'll just catch up there. Question, a few comments. Graham, good on you for asking the questions. I wanted to hear the answers to. Some pretty personal as well. Thank you very much, Graham. Yeah, it was great insight with Chris. Yeah, it was nice. I wanted to hear his views and things. It's hard not to get too deep and personal, but he spoke, struck me on it. I'll come with you. I'll come with you, Gary. Who's on the back? Who's on the front? Looks mint though, doesn't it? That was my dream bike as a schoolboy rider and racing motocross in the UK. Pro circuit, stroke Splitsfire, Kawasaki. Whew, they are mint. Thanks, Paul. Not till Friday, bud, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Should do Holder and Ward together. Now that would be cool. I have actually spoke to Darcy Ward as well, and he did say he would do one. That's what I was just mentioning to Chris. I did speak to him, and but I knew at the time he was busy organising his meeting that he had not long ago that went well, apparently, as Chris sort of mentioned there. So I knew he was doing that. So I will get and speak to him and get him on. But yeah, that is a great idea. Whoever wrote that, I don't know if you didn't register on the Facebook bit, but whoever wrote that, that's a cracking idea. The ones with the two together, I've obviously only done Bruce Pennell and Eric Gunderson together. That was amazing. But yeah, to get the Turbo Twins back together, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Good shout. Good shout. Why hasn't my name come up? Basically, in the post on Facebook, whoever that is, there's basically a little link thing on the post. So before you go into the interview, there's a little bit on the post that says StreamYard / something. I think you click on that, and it just basically gives StreamYard permission to use your Facebook profile, so that when you talk, look, you come up like Gary there, look, with your profile and your name, so I can see who you are. That's basically all it is. Is that you, Jamie? Can't see your name again, look. See, so I mean, I can't even get my brother to do it properly, so maybe I should just say to people from now on, so even if you don't register or not, as soon as you've wrote something, just write your name underneath your comment, your full name under it. Then I know who it is. Either way. Should do Holden. Yeah. Great interview, Lee. What a boy. Can't wait for Darcy's interview. Yes, I will keep you guys in the loop on that. Brother giving me the fingers. Get Neil Middleditch on. Graham, I don't know if you saw my boxing evening one. I did speak to Neil there. We had a bit of a Boxing Day bonanza. And then I had Neil Middleditch on, John Davis, Dennis Sagalos, and I had the Cobra on as well. I had the Cobra Steve Luxton on as well, and I had all them guys on at once. I'd never done more than one in my life before that point. So it was crazy boxing evening. And then the only other time I've done more than one was Bruce Pennell and Eric Gunderson last week. If anyone wants to catch up on that, if you've not seen it. Yes, Daniel M. Saunders, cool. I've done it before. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's all it is, basically. It just gives StreamYard permission to use your profile picture and name. That's all it is. A lot of the guys sometimes coming in and forgetting to do that. It's just a bit of a bummer when you can't see who's saying what. Yes, I would love to do that, Paul. Fingers crossed. I never thought I'd get to speak to all these idols and heroes of us all. It's been amazing, absolutely amazing anyway. So I would say never about anything anymore. Gives you a lot of hope and enthusiasm for anything's possible and all that. Jamie Ashby, laugh out loud, defo, turbo twins. There you go. Is that you, James? Love you, brother. Definitely. Don't forget, don't get too much cash when you go down to that cash point for Friday when you put that in that I love you, brother emotional card, all right? And by the way, you already showed everyone that you was prepared to get me a bike competition ticket, and we knew how much that ticket was. That's all I'm saying. Right. Graham Reed, bug, I missed that. Can you watch old shows? You can indeed, Graham. So basically everything I do on here live is all recorded, and I put the link out the next day. But even if you don't get that, you can always go to my YouTube channel, which is just basically Motocross and Speedway Memories. If you go on there, you can go literally through the whole lot. It's literally sort of 6 months or so worth of all the guys, all the eras, 80s and 90s of Speedway, Motocross. They're all on there. I used to do Skype recorded interviews to start with, after I did all the Q&A written ones on my Facebook group, and then it went from there to coming on to this live, thanks to Adam Winslow, that helped me get into these live StreamYards, which is really cool. So these go out to all these lives as well are on my YouTube channel live, Graham. They're on my Twitter live. They're in my Facebook group live, on the Facebook page live, and my own Facebook as well. So they're actually out live now to 5 different things, which is great. Hopefully down the line, Instagram will give us the permission. There he is. That's got to be you, isn't it, bro? Can't wait for Busky. Yes, John, can't wait for that. I was very young in the mid-80s, probably 7 or 8, when Alf Busk was at Swindon. But I remember him, especially the name as well. Never forget that name. What about Ty Woofenden? Hopefully I'll be able to... there ain't anyone I'm not chasing, whoever wrote that. Core. Tenner man. Wow. It's gone from offering me a 50 quid bike ticket to he wants to go to a tenner now. Wow. Sure he won't let me down. He's just teasing. He's just teasing. Yes, Graham, indeed. It's been, I think, a lot of people, it's helped a lot of people in the lockdown. Bit of entertainment. It was getting the sports out there, keeping the sports, motocross and speedway, keeping it out there, keeping everything alive. You know, talking about people's memories. Everyone's got a story to tell, no matter what level, what years. Everyone's got their memories and stories to reminisce and everything. It's been amazing, honestly. That's why it'd be cool as well to do the BSMA legends as well, the schoolboy guys, champions, and all sorts of levels of riders. Talking to them guys as well would be really cool. So I mentioned all the interviews. I've mentioned about the tickets for the bike. You can get hold of me for that. Yeah, times 5 would be fine. Oh, 500. Wow. Did I ever race at Ringwood? My club was Morden. I started out in 1989 on an 80 at 12 years old. I always raced number 12. My mum, I was 12 years old when I started, and I'm born on the 12th. So that's why I started at number 12. I did start at Mid Wilkes, Graham. Mid Wilkes Schoolboy Scramble Club, and then sort of in a few years I went to Morden and then raced Morden right to the end till 2000. Whoever put Lee Adams, I've done one with Lee Adams. So if you go on the YouTube channel, it's free to subscribe, so you don't miss anything. It gives you a little cheeky reminder if I've ever done a new one. Yeah, definitely did Mr. Lee Adams. I did a quality. It was a really cool hour with him. He got up early morning for me as well, Australia time, obviously. But that was amazing because obviously he was a massive legend to me, being a Swindon boy as well. That was really cool. So yeah, you can go on the YouTube channel, just click on the videos, and you can literally scroll down. I'll even give you a little scroll. I'll go in there now. I expect Laney's next door tutting. Doing that, I didn't need to do that. For the Speedway ones, Ollie Olsen. Did Ollie Olsen. That's in the YouTube channel. Per Jonsson, another amazing one, obviously. The one with Eric Gunderson on his own. That was 3 hours, so that was amazing. Bruce and Eric together. Bruce Pennell and Eric Gunderson together for 2 hours. That was amazing. Speedway, Hans Nielsen, the main Dane, did a 3 hour live one with him. That was unbelievable. Mr. Ollie Allen, current GB boss, did one with Ollie Allen. That was a great chat as well. Simon Cross, Paul Hurry, did a great 3 hours with him. Really one that everyone really loved as well was John Davis. I did over 3 hours with John Davis. Everyone was, hence he come back again. That was amazing. Mark Laran, I did an hour and a half with Mark Laran. That was really cool. Ronnie Corrie, I did a live one with Ronnie Corrie. Andy Graham, I think was my first live Speedway one. I did nearly 2 hours with Andy Graham. I'm sure you all remember him. He rode with my dad at Milton Keynes in '79 as well, which was my dad's last year. And then before that, it was the Skype recorded ones. So they weren't live where fans could come in and ask questions, but they were still obviously amazing interviews. There was Todd Wiltshire. That was really cool. I did a Martin Smolinski, which was very good as well. He took us all around his workshop and all his Kevlars and helmets and engines. Martin Dugard was really cool. Chris Bomber Harris. I did a 2-part with Scott Nichols, did a couple with him. Gary Havelock. That hour and a half was great fun. He was awesome. I did a 2-part with Hans Nielsen before on Skype as well, so that was really cool. There he is, look, Lee Adams. Did a great hour with Lee Adams. Then I did an hour with Bruce Pennell back then as well. Roscoe, Alan Rossiter. I did an hour with Roscoe as well. Jason Crump, when he first sort of revealed that he was going to be riding for Ipswich before the whole season was Wight last year. Spoke to Jason Crump there as well, and hence I sort of found out the first information about that he was prepared to ride for this season as well. So yeah, there's loads on there to catch up. Tommy Knudsen, I would love to do Tommy Knudsen, John Turner. That's another one. Get Calvin Tatum on here, loved that. Jack Holder would love that. The good old Aussies. Mr. Swindon, you mean? Yes, certainly was Mr. Swindon, Lee Adams. A couple of you mentioned Calvin Tatum. Jem Watley era. Yeah, Graham. I got motocross ones. I just said all the Speedway ones then, didn't I? Obviously, the motocross was the first ones I was doing, and then I added Speedway specials, and then it ended up becoming permanent. Motocross, Jackie Martins I did the other day. AMA legend Jeff Ward the other day. Kurt Nichol, Steffi Bow, Nathan Shelton, Roger DaCosta, Gordon Crockard, Jeff Stanton, Max Anstey. Oh, by the way, I did Chris Morton as well, which I missed first time round. 5 times world champion Joel Smets, Carl Nunn, Ben Townley, Jake Nichols, Jamie Dobb, Stefan Everts, Rob Herring, Harry Everts, Dave Thorpe, unbelievable names, Mike Healy, Joachim Carlson, Jeff Leask, Bob Moore, former world champion Bob Moore, Stephen Clark, Liam Everts, obviously Stefan's son, Brian Jorgensen, the Great Dane, legendary motocross rider, former British champion, GP winner, team HRC boss, Roger Harvey. I did an hour, nearly 2 hours live with Graham Noyce. Graham, there was Graham Noyce live in his interview, live in his living room. That was Paul Cooper, former multi-British champion. I did another one with Kurt Nichol on Skype. Americans, David Pingree, Paul Malin, Stefan Everts. I'd done before my live. I did a 3 hour live with him, which was unbelievable. Before that, I did a 3-part Skype with him. Even mine's on there. When Mikey Whitewick, the mechanic, did an interview with Steve Dixon, was really cool, and Zach Osborne for us. Rob Herring I did. on a Skype as well before the live, and Jamie Dobb. So they were really cool as well. Mike Alessi, Billy Lyles, the American legend who won the Motocross the Nations with America. Dave Thorpe, I done on a Skype as well before the live one. That was really cool. Shane King, former 500cc World Champion from New Zealand. Warren Edwards, which I think it was Warren Edwards' birthday today. So happy birthday to Warren Edwards. Jimmy Button, Greg Hansen, Neville Bradshaw, Paul Malin, Jeff Perrett, James Marsh, Christian Burnham, Marnie Bavorts, Kurt Nickel, Perry Leask, Justin Morris, and Rob Herring. Again, just a few names. Get the grin on. Yeah, I'd love to get Greg Hancock on. Fingers crossed for that. Jan Stetchman would be good. He would. Hey, here he is. Here he is. Look, he's got a picture of Dad there. Look, which Mr. Pat Stott, who does all the 90s motocross. Top man he is. He got the profile picture on there. Look, with the quote that I always quote Dad. My dad's saying, bless him, at the end of each interview I do. I always quote that, which is, it's important. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. So Pat did a nice logo there. Look of Dad racing in the Swindon Robbins colours and a picture of him off the track and the slogan there. So that was pretty cool. Quote, try and get Brigger on. What a life he's had. Scott Autry, another interest in life. I did ask Scott. Don't think he's keen to get on camera. Hamill and Hancock, that's a pair I'd love to see again. Yes, 100%, mate. That'd be cool. Fingers crossed. Yes, our dad. Me and James' dad. Get told off if I say it's my dad or anything like that. My dad. Sound like the seagulls on Nemo. Mine. Yeah, he's my dad. But yeah, there's loads of we're after. Good night from Cornwall. Got an early start and I'm a fan now. Love it. Great show. Thanks ever so much, Graham. Much appreciated, mate. Check out those YouTube channels. Like I said, when you can. You can subscribe for free. Check them out whenever you want. So even if you can't get on here live, they're always recorded and always put on there, and then I share out the link the next day. So it's all cool. Cool, as Laney was mugging me off for just a minute ago, I think. What about your uncle? He's not been too well, so I did sort of try to get that going, but so I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. Cheers, Johnny Show. Don't forget about that ticket tomorrow, buddy. But Tommy Knudsen would be cool. I remember him doing the loop out on the wheelie at Swindon for Coventry. Can you remember that? That was pretty mental, wasn't it? I'd love to get Tommy Knudsen on as well. So then, people, I will leave you all. I'm going to go and have some tea. It's too late. A little bit tipsy. Had a few sips. Thanks for that, Laney Lee. About Peter Collins would be great. I did actually speak to Peter Collins on the phone the other day, which was, I was proper scared to ring when I rang, and yeah, I did have a good chat with Peter Collins, so fingers crossed he will come on. So fingers crossed on that. Yeah, but we did have a good chat, and fingers crossed I'll get him on. Thank you very much, John Turner. Thank you. So I will be back tomorrow evening if you guys want to tune in for Sebastian Tortelli. 7 p.m. UK live, Andy, as we say. Got to say UK live now because it goes out all over. So got to say 7 p.m. UK. Yeah, he was Phil. He was really nice to speak to on the phone as well. But I was obviously ringing up Peter Collins. So I was like doing that. Oh, God, it's Peter Collins. Mike Lee. I did speak to Michael Lee, but he's not keen to come on camera either. So unfortunately, that would have been a cool one. I did love Michael Lee as well, 1980 world champion. Would have loved to got him on. So never know. Could never say never. How's that? Right then. So I'll see you tomorrow night. Hopefully. I hope you enjoyed it all. Thanks ever so much for everyone getting involved. Great questions. Tried to get through what we could. Really appreciate Chris Holder's time. Got a good hour and 40 minutes, I think we got with the man. So please get another Aussie on soon. Yeah, we'll do our best. Hopefully Darcy Ward will be cool. But there's so many to get through. So can't wait to do all that. Fingers crossed we can get some more cool ones on for you guys. So I will hopefully see a lot of you tomorrow night, maybe, if you want to see the Sebastian Tortelli. I know he's a proper legend, so there'll be a lot of people, I would imagine, will want to see that. I've not seen anything from him at all anywhere on anything, so it'd be amazing to get that one on. Can't wait for that. So hopefully see you tomorrow night. And if anyone's interested in tickets on the bike competition, hook me up. You can text me or Facebook me, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to do. No problem. So I will see you all soon. Ciao Bella. And I will quote my father. Sorry, our father. Yes, I did speak to him as well. Jerry's put Phil Crump. Definitely did speak to Phil Crump. And he said he would. So he was my first idol at Swindon Speedway. So I remember going round on his bike, and there's a picture of me and Lee Kilby in the pits, sat on the front of Phil Crump's bike. So that was a really cool picture there's going around. So that was awesome. So I'd love to get him on. And I have spoken to him. So it's just getting it all in and around, obviously, the time zones and everything. There's so much to sort out and do. So I will get to them all, 100% for you all. So, as my dad would say, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao Bella, people. Speak to you all tomorrow night. Hopefully, I'll see you all tomorrow night. Ciao Bella.